What are you, homophobic?
This could be a long podcast, my friend.
Is it? Get comfortable, man.
I
Better
am.
not try and sit above me on this rock. Fucking fight you, man.
You know, I can't really climb rocks, so I'm gonna leave that up to you. I gotta pull something up.
How's the week been for you guys?
It's actually been pretty bad. We're having a really tough time with this ticket system.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that a little later. I hope, but it's been pretty rough. How's your week been? What game are you playing?
What game? Dude, I've been doing my own thing for a little bit here, man. I mean, I still log into BDO for things that I have to do for the guild, but um, been playing Tarkov, Overwatch. I renewed my WoW sub, so I've been
Oh
messing around on
no.
there. Yeah, right. I'm not quitting BDO for WoW. Don't get that in your head. But I've
Okay.
been doing other shit, man. Taking a breather, getting some sun on my skin.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. I've been sick for a couple of weeks though, so it's been nice to get outside a little bit every once in a while. Public service announcement: go outside.
Yeah, fresh air is good, fellas.
So let's start with kind of the icebreakers, if you will, a little bit here. Um, let's dox you to start with. How old are you? Whereabouts do you live in a general vicinity? What do you do for work? Stuff like that.
So I'm 27. I live in Boston, and right now I'm in school. I'm a veteran, so I'm on the GI Bill.
Oh, really?
So I get paid. Yeah,
What
I
branch of
get
the
paid to
service
be
are
in
you in?
school. Marines. Five
Very
years
nice.
infantry.
Man, I never would have guessed.
No, yeah, I know, man. I keep it low key, dude.
Guess so. I feel bad for bullying you. Thank you for your service, winners.
Dude, you can bully me if you wanted
Dude,
to,
I
Tim.
bullied the fuck out of you. You really want to get into this right now? I get under your skin so easy. It was so easy to
Oh
get under your
no,
skin.
man. Really wasn't, dude. I didn't care that much.
I got under your skin. I know I did. You
Tim,
know,
yelling at people is not getting under their skin.
you showed up at my node for 2 weeks. That's how bad I got
Well,
under your
yeah,
skin.
but that was more of a show of force, dude. I mean, I guess you could try to make it
You
into
you
what
really
you're saying,
surprised me.
but
Vertex is stronger than Aftershock. Holy shit, we had no idea. Great job.
well, no, because I remember when we talked before all that, you had said how like one of the reasons you didn't want to fight Man Up is because you were afraid of them. Like like they can do things other people can't, like that type of
You mean
mentality.
like the
It's like,
liar lay
well,
factor?
look what we can do, fucker.
Yeah, you
But
showed me on the tier
more
2.
than anything, it was we wanted information from you guys because it was easier to get a spy in your guild than Man Up.
It was easier to get. You didn't have a spy in my guild.
Fuck yeah, dude.
No, you
I was a
didn't.
member of Aftershock for like 4 months.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Bullshit.
Dude, I'll block out. I got a couple of videos of like Node Wars and recordings of TeamSpeak and shit. I'll try and block
Oh
out
my god, were you
the
really?
character pain. Oh yeah, dude, hell
You
yeah.
never used that shit.
No, of course I didn't, man. I never wanted to do that shit. But it's
So,
one of those things, dude. It's like test me, you know.
so what do you think of the guild?
Think of Aftershock.
Yeah,
Do you want my honest opinion?
of course.
It was kind of a shit show, dude. I guess it was like endearing. Like it seemed like a family guild. Like if OTG were to take PvP seriously.
Wow. OTG. When was this? Was this before or during the Man Up thing?
This was during it. It was like I think like a week before we hit Man Up was when we got the spy in because we knew you'd be there.
If OTG did PvP, was I shot calling then? I don't think I was really shot calling.
Yeah, you were.
Was I?
I saved your life at one point and you thanked me.
I would love to know if I like remembered who you were.
You'd probably know if I said the name.
Okay.
I can't confirm or deny if it's still there though. I gotta keep you thinking.
Come on. I kind of
Tim, I
we
can't
kind of got away
remember.
from that spy thing. I think
Yeah,
Sasha
dude,
should
you started fucking booting random people.
Sasha put a Sasha put a spy in Hickey's guild, and so we like very obviously the next day put a spy in his guild, and he didn't catch it for like 3 weeks.
Dude, we caught the spy that you put in his guild. I called that out when I saw it, and that we caught him history hacking like last week.
No, it
His
wasn't last
guild
week.
list. No, it was pretty recently.
He ended up giving that account away. He's on a different account
Did
now.
he?
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
I was hacking. It wasn't like him hacking. He just gave it away.
whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so Jesus Christ, I knew this was gonna be fun. So I'm pretty curious about like how you got into PC gaming. Did you start early? What was your first like MMO? What was the first games you played on PC? Stuff like that.
Oh, um,
Wait, hold on. So we're not. Fuck you. Number one, we're not OTG that's trying to PvP, but we're not fucking like we're not militant about it, right? Like some people, we have a lot of people with like 9 to 5s that just want to play the game, get some PvP in, and that's okay. Like we never want to be Vertex. We don't even want to be Black Rose. I don't want to yell too much in comms, shit like that. And so we
dude, we
just
don't
try to.
yell at all in
We'd
comms.
never really want to be. Yeah, I'm starting to yell a little bit now. People are hitting the wrong things and it's pissing me off. I streamed yesterday. I was like, nobody hit that flame tower. It doesn't matter. And then everybody on the node, and then I look at that flame tower. Literally, my entire guild's there, and I'm like, I went full Sasha. What the fuck? Get the fuck over here! But yes,
Gee,
we're taking it a little more
doesn't matter.
seriously now. But we've always been kind of just like, hey, it's okay. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna PvP, and if we win, we win.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what
Okay.
it's all about.
Yeah. Anyway, so how'd you get into PC gaming?
Just played video games, man. And then like, uh, so my 8th grade, I got a computer, and I played like Halo 1 and shit on it. And then my buddy told me about WoW that I played Halo with on Xbox. And I started doing that, and it was like a couple months after vanilla release. And I played that shit all the way through high school.
Were you good at it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Back in the day, like when I took it really seriously, and like I had pretty strict parents, and like when they weren't being pussies about it, I was doing pretty good, especially for a kid. And then my computer died, and I like signed up for the forces, so it was just kind of like, I didn't really get to continue. And then anytime that I revisited it, I was like overseas and shit, and I had
Yeah.
bad connections. So,
Did your parents buy you like gaming PC parts and stuff? Was that something you
fuck
asked?
no, dude. Hell no. I started working when I was 14, man. I bought my own shit.
What was your job when you were 14?
I worked at a bagel shop,
Oh wow.
made sandwiches. And then when I was like 17, I started doing landscaping.
Did you say what you were doing now for work? You're a student, right? Yeah, you're a student. You're
Yeah, I'm on
okay.
the GI
GI.
Bill chilling.
Okay. What are you studying? What are you trying to be?
I don't give a shit, man. It's good money.
Whoever pays you. Yeah.
Dude, I literally just sit around and play video games. It's like neat bucks. It's pretty great. I'll probably realistically end it because I have to declare a major for this coming semester. I actually have to do that like next week. I should probably put some thought into that.
Oh man.
I'll probably do something with computers though. I'll probably do like, I don't know, web design or some shit.
Just minor in business, man. That's my advice. Just minor in business.
Yeah, you think? I don't know, man. To be honest, I could be fucked as far as a college degree goes. I don't really care.
Well, when you have your resume, you can be, politics puppet master of Vertex and Black Desert Online.
Yeah, dude. You know any businesses that take video game guild leadership experience?
It's so funny, but me and my real life friends, like all of my friends, we all grew up in kind of the same neighborhood, and we've been playing video games together forever. And we joke about it almost every time we're together. It's like, why can't we put this shit? Why is running a guild something that you can't put on your resume? Because like,
Oh, right, dude.
it's fucking crazy.
You'd think that there would be a lot of companies, like tech companies, and especially like esports businesses that would like see value in it. But
I'd 100% put that on a, you know, if I was interviewing somebody that was like my age, I'd be like, you ever fucking run a guild? Like, yeah, once, and WoW was top US 100. I was like, yeah, everybody says that. Get out of here.
show me your logs, pussy.
So you didn't go from WoW to BDO, right? Like there's a gateway drug before you get there, right?
I'm trying to think, man. I'm trying to think of what I was playing. I was playing Rust when BDO released.
Ah,
I had like 1,000 hours on Rust, and
that's
then
the full
BDO
loot PvP.
came
Rust
out.
is full loot PvP, right?
Yeah, Rust. You can grief people harder on Rust than you can on BDO.
Yeah, Permit's pretty Care Bear. So who did you have real life friends or something that brought you into BDO?
Nope. I walked in this bitch alone, dude.
Really? Me too.
Feels bad.
Gary, what
Lost
kept
souls
you?
in the night.
So you've never played a Korean RPG. What kept you?
No.
Like, is the first, you know, if you started at release, I started when Maywa started, and the play style and kind of
Really?
the
Wow, dude.
flashiness kept me in.
Might as well be a steamy.
Is this how this is gonna go?
What?
Nothing. So what kept you locked into it? Because like the enhancement system and all that stuff is pretty
Well,
foreign.
dude, I quit the game with the pay to win shit whenever Warren died.
Really?
Yeah, man. I took like a 4 or 5 month break, something like that.
Were you in a what guild were you in
Well,
before
at
pay
that
to win?
time, I was GM of Black on Orwin,
Were you? I
but
had no idea.
yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about this before.
I
I
talked to a
think.
lot of people, and you're not that important to me.
Ooh, trying to wound me, man.
No, I really didn't pay attention to politics or anything. I was so overwhelmed by the game back then that I didn't. I was just like, how the fuck do I Maywa? There's warriors with shields moving in on me. Every time I do something, I die. Like, what the fuck is this game? So back in Orwin, I had no idea what was going on or who was what. I had no idea you were the GM of Black.
Yeah, dude. Um, Santia should remember me when you guys were still crack house, like a little baby guild. I
Yeah,
like taught you guys how to cannon and like tried to teach you guys some node shit. You guys
really?
were gonna help me hold Serendia. Yeah.
Did we do that? Did we help?
Dude, it was like yeah, I think you guys dropped for 1 week. It was you guys and Pax Corontos back then. You guys dropped like the first week or the second week of Siege. Here, let me start from the beginning on Orwin
Okay.
because you're getting off your own sheet, Tim.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
I was just trying to have a fucking conversation. Whatever.
I'm
Yeah, but
kidding.
yes, give us the Orwin
Just
story.
reopened it.
Because I don't know. I
Okay.
wasn't paying attention. I was like, how do I get to level 56?
Yeah. So on Orwin, I started in this little ass guild named Exalted. I didn't know anybody. That was cool. Then the GM of that guild went super casual and quit. And he didn't tell anybody. Or no, it wasn't the GM. It was like the guy who was kind of GM. He was like the shadow GM. And then like the real GM was kind of there, but like he was a weird dude. And it turned out he was like 18, and he
Oh
like
no.
logged in like when his parents allowed him to.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude. But like I had a pretty big group of people that I played with. We became friendly with Black. So when all this kind of came out, it turned into this big fucking deal, and like people didn't want to be there anymore. At the same time, this salty group of little kids that we picked up, um, one of them we had given officer, so he felt good about his friends being killed. He like kicked everyone and drained the guild bank. He did like that super scummy shit, and then he went and
Yeah.
joined that whole relevant crew, like way back before they were ever
Oh
relevant.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was like Avid and Vert and Slurzy, like that whole crew. He went and joined them, so I bullied the fuck out of that guild until it disbanded after I merged my group into black.
Get a little
And
closer to
that's
your mic.
why...
You're drifting away here.
Oh yeah, I'm leaning backwards. That's why those guys hate me. If you ever heard that meme, like Zethy and that whole crew, they all fucking despise me just because
everybody hates
a couple of yeah, I got a lot of people who hate me, man. I think that I could probably count the people who like me before the people who hate me pretty
I've
easily.
always liked you. You know I've always liked you.
Dude, you just like were super proud of exclaiming how you tried to bully me.
No, I did bully you, but I like
you.
you.
Bullied me out of compassion, too.
Dude, ask anybody that really knows me. If I don't bully you, I don't like you. People I ignore, that's the worst. Like, fuck you. I mean, like,
so it's like you're in elementary school and everyone you're talking to
yeah,
is a cute
you're like
girl.
the third cutest girl in my third grade class. And so I don't feel like I'm alpha enough to talk to the two cutest girls because they're talking to fifth graders. But like I'm hitting you on the arm because I think you're pretty fucking cute. I'm calling you shit.
Does that make you an incel?
What?
An incel?
I don't know what that is.
An involuntary celibate?
No.
No. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a joke.
Is it a joke? Is anybody laughing?
Well, you gotta... Dude, oh, okay. There's actually 2 good memes that have come out of this stream for me.
Okay.
So one, now people in Vertex, every time I go into a fucking voice channel, ask me where my wife is. Because that one time that, like, I said something or other on the podcast, and you were like, "Where's your wife, Winters?" No, it's a big fucking meme. And the other one is now people ask me, "What does Milkbag know that you're not telling us?" when he's hiding on the 4th page. That's the other big meme.
Wait, I missed that one.
Yeah, he was like freaking out, spurging out in your chat last week.
Oh, in the chat, yeah. It's hard for me to pay. Okay.
He was trying to say that there's like some conspiracy that no one's telling anyone about.
Well, you brought up something personal about me.
Well, he's one of... Yeah, no, it was when your wife laughed at you and someone asked if you were going to stop sucking Man Up's dick or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And then you brought that up, and then...
And I was like, ho, 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 cuck joke. And then, like... And you were like, "Where's your wife, dude?"
Yeah, you walked into that, man. You're still living that one down. Don't ever fucking come at me like that.
I don't actually care, dude.
I know.
I just thought it was funny, dude, that reaction.
Where's your wife? I don't sound like that. Fuck you. Okay, so you're talking about...
Oh, well, yeah, so Milkbag's actually one of those little fuckers who was from that group that, like, hates me because I bullied their guild. And then they disbanded and they joined Veritas and Luciform. I was still in black. I made the big mistake back then of taking over the guild when the GM got burnt out because I didn't think things were running well. And I thought that that would be something that I would fit well into, or like that I could handle. And it's just, dude, I don't care for the bickering and the nonsense and like the fat inbox. Like, I don't mind doing politics shit, but dude, I cannot handle people complaining about bullshit. Like, I literally can't handle it.
You'd rather do politics than handle inner guild stuff.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Like, I love the members of Vertex, but I can't handle people complaining. Like, not my thing, man. And then I guess that it's good because Sob doesn't give a fuck at all. He just tells people to fuck off. So it works. It's a good dynamic.
He likes talking to me like I'm a footstool.
He looks at everyone like a footstool.
Does he?
Yeah. Sob's a good dude, man. He's a good leader.
That's a good quality. What is he, 22, 23, he said on the podcast?
23, yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed. Number one, he showed up on the podcast, just top to bottom. But number two, I was like, holy shit, you're 23. You talk to me like I'm 5.
No, he's a good dude. He was still in college when I joined Vertex, like after I came back to the game.
Okay. So, you piss all these people off, you take over Black. How long were you leading Black?
Oh, dude, I mean, the time kind of melted together back then, dude. It felt like it was probably like 4 or 5 months, but realistically, it was probably like 2. because it was like the whole situation between Man Up and Vertex, over the last couple of months. That was basically Orwin from start to finish,
Right.
where it was like the big ass Veritas alliance, and then the big ass Flex alliance. And they were just fighting all the time, like controlling world bosses, and then Nodes and Siege came out, and it evolved into that shit like week one.
Did Siege really pay that much back in those days? I remember when they like
No, but the prestige was fucking. That's good, dude.
okay. So when did Black fall apart? Was that the pay to win stuff?
Yeah, well, the pay to win shit, basically, Orwin went nuclear, dude, and um, it was like Veritas died, which in turn meant that Legatum and I don't think that they still had a really active third guild at that point, but Veritas or no, Legatum didn't die. What am I talking about? They're still around. They just renamed at the
Just
time,
because
and then
Joe
they
never fails
renamed
left
back.
Legatum doesn't mean they're dead, okay?
Dude, isn't he? He's a steamy, isn't he?
Probably. That toxic, can I say that?
Yeah, dude. Dude, it's your stream. You can say what you want, Tim.
Okay. I just don't want to get yelled at the next time I pop into his stream. Um Okay, so back to this. So Orwin blows up because of pay to win. But is that when Iconic took over like crazy?
Well, yeah, Iconic was Veritas renamed, so it was like when it was like 8 guilds that were all relevant to the Siege scene just fucking went poof on Orwin. And it was like the majority of the people who were against Veritas went to Relevant, and the majority of the people who were, on the Veritas side went to Iconic. And it was like a very large portion of the better players from Black and Luciform just merged in with the large portion of good players from Veritas, and all 3 of those guilds were far superior to the guilds in the enemy alliance. So,
and you're just dipset in the game. You're like, fuck,
yeah,
raise them out.
I went and played WoW and raided and had a good old time, and then came back after server merge.
Wasn't that the Panda time?
What? Dude, that was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that was like Mist of Pandoria, wasn't it?
No, that was way longer. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. No, dude, we're talking about beginning of Legion for like Emerald Nightmare.
After Cataclysm, I pretty much swore that game off. Anyway, I know everyone's all hyped about the new expansion. Enjoy your 1 month of playing that game, everybody. So what brought you back to the game?
I talked to a couple of people who I kept in touch with. They were like, yeah, it's pretty good. There's a lot of shit going on. Everything is pretty fun. Awakenings are all out now. So I came back, and it was like awkward because there was like half of the people who were left over from Black fucking hated my guts and didn't want anything to do with me.
Why?
So I
Because you
kind of
left?
wasn't really, yeah. So I kind of wasn't like welcome there. But I had shit gear, and I was like just coming back to the game. So like all the other people that I knew were in Vertex, basically.
Have you always been a Kuno?
Basically.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I mained Ranger pre-Awakening, and then Kuno release, and that was probably one of the things that added on to me quitting the game is like Kuno released, and then the pay-to-win shit happened, and Kuno was like underwhelming. Fuck this shit, dude. But I came back and I was playing Kuno, and I had like really, really bad gear for the time, but Vudani knew me pretty well. And like I wanted nothing to do with leadership. I just wanted to like chill and play the game. And like I knew how to do cannons and shit. And like I was the GM of the guild, so obviously I knew all the functions for.
Sit up.
I'm fading. I am sitting up.
There you
go. Oh. So like I knew all the functions, how guilds work and shit, and like I was well read on the game. So, like, I had something to offer, even if it was just hanging out on defense and rebuilding or cannoning when I first came back. And then I talked to Budani, and that went down pretty well. So I joined Vertex, and that's the end of the story.
The pay to win stuff was the Artisan Memories, right? That's what set us all
No,
off. Or was it the value
no,
pack?
that's actually the irony of it. Is it was after Value Pack, before Artisans. It was when they made it so you could put
Oh, the costumes on the
costumes on
marketplace.
the market. Yeah,
Wow.
and everyone freaked the fuck out because they thought it was going to be like straight up RMT, like it
That's
was going to be
right.
bad.
It's not even close. Like when you did the math, it was like 100 mil back then was
It's
money,
really not.
but it wasn't like
Yeah.
game breaking. Why the fuck did you leave over that? Did you just like get caught up in the hype, or did you just decide that
Well,
like this was really actually going to
I
ruin the
think
game?
I think I got caught up in the hype, man. I don't know. It's like over the last couple of months, I've been fucking eating, sleeping, breathing BDO, and I guess I'm more accustomed to it now. But back then, it's like that shit's unhealthy, right?
Yeah,
So like when you're first experiencing it, it's like a scary sensation, like you feel like you're spiraling.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like back then, I think it was just like this game is too much, and it's a convenient scapegoat for quitting. And there were probably like close to 1,000 people on Orwin who all had like a fucking exodus off the game as a result of it. And it
Yeah,
totally ruined the server, threw it imbalanced. Like
I
it was a
agree. I
dead server.
remember. I remember this now that you bring it up. I remember how many people left and how many guilds were left in shambles, and everybody merged back into something, and we tried to make something out of Orwin. And that's why kind of Orwin was kind of the joke in the beginning, right? Because like our server had been gutted from that, and I don't, I think Uno was kind of actually a little worse off than us, and Eden obviously was kind of a powerhouse, but yeah, it's I can't imagine spending. It's basically $1 per million, especially with sea monster hunting right now.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
why
funny looking
artisans
back and
are.
going, people really freaked out about that so bad that it just gutted. It just gutted the fucking. Ah, anyway. So, you're into Vertex. This is after the server merge, or is it before?
That was after server merge.
Okay,
This
so
was in like I think like February of last year, so like a year and a half ago.
it's funny. I want to talk about that for a second. You said that, like when you start getting sucked into this game, it's funny when I play like a different game or something, there's attendance rewards that go easy. I'm going to knock this out. Guild Wars 2, I can hang out for a second game and fucking meme around or something. And I just can't stay loyal to those attendance rewards. And as bad as our attendance rewards are right now, I'll never miss one. I never will. So I played a game called Darkfall. And that was a life sucking game because you could like siege could happen at any time, any day. It was just 20 hours after somebody wanted to take your castle, basically. And so there was like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. Sieges, and then there was alliances, counter drops, and you'd just be fighting for 10 hours. And then sometimes people would just fake it, so you'd wake up at 2 a.m. and wouldn't show up or whatever the case is. And so I got sucked into that for quite some time. And then when I got into this game, I was like, there's no way I could ever, I'm 26 years old. There's no way I could ever get sucked into something like that again. And then, god damn it, once I started getting into leadership, I really got sucked into this thing again. And I'm actually more sucked, obviously, streaming and stuff. I'm way more sucked into this game now than I've ever been sucked into any other game, maybe even all the other games combined. I think Discord has a lot to do with that too, right? Like, I know you and
Yeah.
I, probably
Well,
majority of our
it's
hours played are
politics.
Discord.
Yeah. Dude, I check Discord before I check text messages when I wake up in the morning.
Yep, I pull up my phone and it's Discord first. Yeah.
We're sad boys, man. We're fucking nerds.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah. Um,
Okay,
I don't
so
think it's that big of a deal, dude. I mean, it's the game is compelling, The content is the player base. The actual game's content is dog shit. It's terrible. It's not fun. The PvP is fun and the player base is fun.
well, I mean, that's the point of a sandbox game, though, right? Like, it's not necessarily supposed to be fun on its own. It's supposed to be the interactions with people and the PvP that can come from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you rejoined Vertex. As we went over in the Vertex kind of arc, there was a slow start to siege. So you come on as defense. You're just kind of getting back in there. You got a relationship with Vudani. So start, talk to us about how you went from just some guy that's coming back or whatever. Wow, fourth on wealth. Look at you. And you start moving up
Oh,
into
damn.
this, position. Early days of Vertex.
Early days of Vertex. I mean, everything was pretty chill, man. I just grinded and did life skills to catch my accounts up, made money, and got my gear up. Then, Vudani, his whole role in the guild, he did literally everything on his own. Like, it was rare for him to ask someone else to go in place or build a base, and like he did all the shot calling. He had a bunch of spreadsheets set up, and he would like tell individuals to join certain parties. Like, guy's a fucking wizard, man. And like, after so long, like, that shit'll burn you out. So it's like he had to move for work, and he stopped playing, and he intended on coming back, but because of burnout and whatever else attributed to it, he just wasn't able to. So the dude who he gave control of his account to run the guild while he was gone, Stalker. I don't know if you talked to Stalker, dude. You know Stalker, right?
Yeah, like once or twice. He wasn't
Dude.
he wasn't doing it for long.
Stalker, man, that guy was a shit show.
Yeah. That was
So
that was
when
Balanos, right? That was right after Medaya.
um
He was there for a little
yeah.
bit before that. He was there for
Well,
what
no.
what was the
Okay, so this was earlier than the Medaya that I think you're talking about.
yeah.
The time we went to Medaya, and it was like Vertex, Trap Alliance, and Guilty, and we got farmed for like 4 fucking hours.
Yeah.
That was when Stalker quit.
Ah, okay.
And then we went. I do think we actually went to Balana. No, we went to Serendia. We fought you guys on Serendia, and we like 1v3'd
Fought us on
after.
Serendia after
Yeah, it was
Balanos?
you guys. No, it was we were on Media, and we got farmed, and then we went to Serendia,
Right.
and there were like 2 big alliances there. So we helped you guys fight the other alliance, and then we were like, fuck it, come at us. And it was you, Hickey, and some like really small weeb name guild that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
We 3v1'd you guys. That was a really fun fight.
Did you win?
I think that's when yeah, we won. I think that's when Stalker quit. Almost positive it was that week. And then Wade took over. Or no, maybe Wade had taken over just beforehand and Stalker was just still around. I actually talked with someone about this like a couple weeks ago. I think that's right. I think Wade took over the week that we went to Medea, and then Stalker was
Wade is Sav, right?
No.
Wade is Wade.
Wade is 3rd GM.
Wade is 3rd GM. He has so many fucking GMs, dude. So Wade was the GM when you guys held Balanos for a couple weeks after Trap took Medaya. Because there was a GM change right there, right?
Oh, that was when Sav took over.
That was when Sav took over. Okay, so Wade was GM before Sav.
And Sav has been GM ever since. 4th time is a charm, dude.
I'm pretty sure Phoenix would have something to say about that.
No, he's the BM of Vertex.
So let's get 2017 is nobody cares, right? That shit's ancient history. So this whole man up Vertex thing really started.
Well, hang on. I don't want to skip over 2017. 2017. Those were the glory days of Vertex, man. Those were like those were the days when the standalone guild arc meme was like fully true, and like we hadn't figured out that we had to deal with politics at any high capacity yet. We were just going around with our dicks out, slapping them on tables, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was fun, man. And like, there were I wouldn't say, dude, like, I'm not so invested in like, e-communities that I would say that there was a lot of like hardship or like heartache, but there were like a lot of hard times towards the end of 2017 and like early 2018. And like I think that has formed a lot of the character of the guild. Like a lot. I don't think we have any leadership that's not from before those times. Most of our core was around through all that. And like
So what was some of your
those
favorite
were,
fights, some of your favorite sieges, if you've had time to reflect on that? I know I sent you these notes late, but
dude, easily favorite siege was when there were like 9 guilds in Calpheon the first time that we went there, and we dropped alone and we found out that Cho was there with like one other guild, but there were like 9 fucking guilds. So we were like, all right, well, let's work together and then we'll fight you guys afterwards. So we cleared out the map and avoided Cho. And then if I remember correctly, we backdoored their smaller, I think it was Equilibrium. So Guilty before the rename, we backdoored them and then 1v1 Cho and took the region. That was by far my favorite siege. That shit was super hype, man.
so when did you start getting into politics? When was that? When was that kind of a thing? Did you start moving up into the leadership? Like, was that Stalker or after Stalker?
So when Vudani told Stalker that he didn't think he'd be back for a while, he told him to get like a group together, and a lot of them are still leadership in the guild at this point. Like he asked him to get like a council together to help him out with shit and like decision making, and I was on that because I don't really know, like obviously I cared, but
Were
I got
you picked
to
for
be
it, or
on
did
it.
you apply for it?
No, I was picked to be on it. I don't know if it was Stalker or Udani who made the decisions on who to pick for it, but we got in there and it was like me and Kinjara and Ark and most of the leadership who's still around, Saw, Kev, and like those days, man, Discord was a fucking battlefield, dude. We had like the identity guild was there, but like the leadership was not cohesive at the time, like at all.
I think it's pretty easy to see when you go back through the the fights. You guys were everywhere, and from talking to the other leadership of Vertex, there was no real rhyme or reason in 2017, at least, of why you went where. And Vudani leaving and bringing in this new leadership, and you just bounced around to kind of wherever. And I guess you'd make an alliance at the last second or something like that. There was no political standing. I know I didn't talk to you in 2017 like at all.
Yeah, well, I didn't really get involved in politics until we were fighting Cho and Calpheon. That's when I really took up the mantle for
Was it
it.
really? That was the start? So like, I mean, because
Well,
that's
before that, it's like I talked to like Proto and I talked to Sasha, and I would talk to people like here and there, but there wasn't a lot of planning that went into shit before that.
I mean,
It was really just
2017
like, hey, we
was
feel like going here.
2017 was Lyrelay's BDO, right? Like if you even said his name, you'd get a message, within 12
Oh,
hours.
dude. Oh man, it was a cesspool, dude. Like we had screen caps where like Stalker sent a message to Kinetic asking Kinetic, hey man, like what are you guys' plans this weekend? But he said it in like a certain phrase, and then like 5 minutes later, Lyrelay responded to him with a copy paste of the message he sent Kinetic.
Jesus Christ.
Like shit like that, dude. Yeah. Dude, we were getting bullied by Man Up since we were like before we started sieging, man.
We got the same treatment. Like I would say anything about like I'm interested in moving east. I've probably said that 100 times, over the past 2 years. And during the Lyrelay era, anytime I even thought of it, it would like my thought would get copy pasted to me. It was incredible. You just could not type that dude's name without it being pasted right back to you. So
I think he's overrated, dude.
really?
Yeah, I beat the shit out of him, dude. Hello?
That wasn't his heyday, though, obviously. I mean, they tried, right? They tried. We'll get into that.
Dude,
later.
if you're an undefeated boxer until your last fight, you're not undefeated anymore.
Right, but you got to wait for the guy until he's 40 to beat him, not when he's 28.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't around when he was 28.
Okay, I got to stretch my back. I'm having a really bad back day. I'll be right back. Let's just take one quick minute break here.
Okay. Fucking old
Talk to
man
chat
time.
and be toxic. Yeah, I'm old. Whatever.
Old ass bitch. Talk to chat. Okay. Let's pull up Tim's stream. Okay, what did I miss? I only have chat on his actual screen. Nothing. I'm cute. Yeah. I mean, I got a couple of boyfriends, but I get around it. Hello, demon of darkness. Am I ever gonna stream? Dude, I stream every once in a while, man. I'm the most boring guest yet. Yeah. Send Tony. Oh god, Tony. Dude, I've always been nice to Tony. Why does that guy dislike me? Would I have your children? Yeah, dude, when they implant a uterus in my colon, I'll have your kids.
A uterus in your colon?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Have I ever wanted to leave my guild for another? There were times where I considered it when, like, in like the stalker era. Yeah, there were times I considered it.
Who would you have gone to?
Fuck if I know, man. I probably would have gone to like a T1 guild and just memed.
Is there another guild out there you get a lot of respect for that you'd fight with?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, everyone
Besides
bitches about the
Aftershock,
whole
apparently.
alliance thing. Well, I mean, dude, if you got to be in two guilds at once, you might as well make your second Aftershock. um, uh, dude, like I'd love to be in like BR or Cho or any of the other modern siege guilds right now.
Why Cho?
Like, I'm sure that dude, Cho is the fucking they're the lord of the memes now, man. That's a funny guild, dude. They don't publish a lot of their stuff, but they're funny, dude. They're really
No, I know
funny.
they've been. I was my stream was talking to me about that earlier. They're like, "What do you think of Cho?" I'm like, I know their Discord is just absolutely insane. I know they're funny. They used to be pretty outwardly toxic, and then I feel like they internalized it a lot, and they just kind of. I think Cho
They just berate each other all day.
Yeah, I really do.
They put each other in cages and throw shit at them.
I really want to get back into that Discord. I'm trying to. I've got one of my ex officers is in Cho, and I'm trying to get the whole Aftershock did nothing wrong to Cho thing is kind of my new thing. Because it was all hickey.
Are you trying to skate out of that, dude?
Skate out of that? Dude, it was not me. It 100% was not me. Once we're out of 2017, we'll get into that.
You have no idea how hard I was laughing, dude, when that happened. I was dying laughing. Cho was so fucked after that happened.
Yeah, I know. Well, we had some pretty good conversations. Are we still on 2017? Is there anything else you want to talk about 2017?
Trying to think, man. So we had a bunch of drama with leadership, and then we lost a couple of geared players to Snake, and that turned into like a recurring thing where
that was the beginning of 2018. That was the trap.
No, it was in 2017 too. I'm almost positive. I could be wrong. It might have started in 2018. I'm pretty sure it was in 2017 though. Like it started then. So we had leadership get set up in Vudani's absence. Then Stalker had his reign of terror, and then Stalker decided to quit. And yeah, that dude just did what he wanted, man. Which is kind of cool, dude. Like I can't discount him. I like Stalker a lot. I actually really like that dude. Super funny guy. I'd have a beer with him. Like I consider him a friend, but he was really not well set for that role, you know? Yeah. So after that, Wade took over.
Black Sea left Vertex for Snake.
Yeah, that was the start of it. Yeah. And like after Black Sea left, every dude who'd ever wanted to suck his dick left to follow him. So like that turned into a big thing. Um,
Do you think the lack of kind of centralized leadership was part of the fault of losing people to Snake?
um, well, no, not really. I mean, I think that this is my opinion. I think that probably a good 80% of the people we lost to Snake are just fucking rats, dude. They have no loyalty. They don't care about anything. So like I don't think that it matters the state of leadership or anything. Maybe if Udani was still around, but like the guild wasn't in a bad state. So
So let's talk about. Um, Moreland's probably going to kill me. Talk about lack of loyalty. Let's talk about loyalty for a second. You guys are obviously in the catbird seat as far as where you currently are. And it's been made semi-public that, you know, you guys are kind of looking at some people to kick because their gear score isn't up to par. How do you satisfy that versus tenure in loyalty?
well, I mean, we don't want to kick anybody, right? But it's like okay, and don't bring Moreland's name up, dude. Moreland is a sweetheart. He's
No,
like a
he is a
fucking
sweet guy, but like
yeah.
that's his
No,
stream title
Moreland's
now.
not.
Is like Vertex
Oh,
is
is it?
recruiting. Vertex is recruiting people with better exclamation point stuff than me. I don't know if that came. Whatever. Yeah, more.
Yeah.
I know Moreland's a sweet dude. I know that. I know that.
No, yeah, more dude, more. I wouldn't worry about Moreland. He's got a pretty secure
I
spot in the
just made
game. We love
1100
Moreland.
Old Moon neutralizer, so they can't kick me for at least 2 more weeks.
um, the whole thing right now, I think, is trying to keep pace with the sea monster bullshit. So it's like a lot of there's a big portion of stress that's being put on that as far as the roster goes. But I don't really do much as far as recruitment goes. So it's like I don't know who they're looking at to kick. I don't know exactly what the reasons they would want to are, but it's not like we're trying to, grab up anyone who applies with high gear or anything like that. Like we have a pretty good community, man, and like we don't want to trash it for money or for status.
So you'd be willing to take a hit, like let's leave these guys in because they've been here forever. Maybe they're not soft cap kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, like the game's about progression, right?
Yeah.
And it's like if people aren't progressing, then they don't belong in the competitive Siege Guild.
That
It
sounds
has
pretty
nothing to
aftershock of
do
you,
with,
man.
dude. I mean, that's who doesn't say that.
That's true. It is kind of funny how like I think that's kind of a dead meme, the community guild thing, right? We're all community guilds, but I think we're all a community within our own guilds, right? We all have that 50, 60
Yeah,
kind of people
dude,
that make up the
gaming
core.
communities on BDO are a fucking meme, dude. The only one that was ever any good was Veritas. Like LOTD was probably the second strongest.
Yeah. Yeah, LOTD is huge. They're in a lot of games. OTG is actually really huge, but they suck everywhere they go.
You're never gonna drop that, are you?
What? No, it's just this is like the third or fourth game I've seen OTG in. It just reminded me of that. There was like they had like 5 full guilds. You remember that on Orwin? They had like all the OTG white and yellow and black and
Yeah,
red.
dude.
What the
Well,
fuck? Could you
when it
imagine?
became like the arms race for like troops on the field, dude, I remember like looking through the OTGs and like I was sitting there, I was like, who the fuck are these people? There's like 4 or 5 of them. They're all on the like first and second page. They're all full of people.
Yeah.
And I can't get in touch with any of their leadership. I don't know. I have no idea what they're about, you know?
You know what OTG stands for, right?
Yeah, Old Timers Guild.
I can't imagine leading that. I can't imagine trying to organize that. Like 100 people is hard enough.
I don't think they're fucking grandparents, dude. Like I don't think that they're old ass dudes who like need help.
No, not like that. Just the amount of people. I was allied with them in Darkfall, and they had maybe 200 people or something, which was a pretty sizable guild in that game. And like the median age was like 37. Like you get in there and you get some like, you vote for Obama, I hate you kind of thing. But it was mostly like mid younger 30s, which 5-6 years ago was kind of rare. And so they had this big following where it's like, oh man, you know, there's no 14-year-olds in here. So I think that's where they
You
got a
big
bunch of
fan
their stuff.
of Obama, Tim?
Am I? My voting
Yeah.
record's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his gear that he gave us. I tried to stay politically neutral on stream, if we could stay away from that.
Yeah. Dude, I'd love to get into a political debate with you
Would
on
you?
stream.
Okay, we can get into that a little bit.
We could do no, we don't have to do it now,
Look, here's
man.
my
We got
voting
other
record.
shit to talk
I
about.
voted for McCain and Sarah Palin, and then I voted for Obama, and then I voted for Trump. Ask me anything.
Yo.
Yeah, how about that? I really
Hell
like
yeah,
John
dude.
McCain. John McCain is a good politician. Sarah Palin is Sarah
I
Palin.
liked Romney. I wasn't a big fan of McCain. I actually really liked Obama when he first ran. And I hated him after he got in office.
If you like Vudani, I'm pretty sure you like Romney. I feel like they're soul sisters.
Yeah. We got better shit to talk about, man.
Moreland says, "What a free thinker." No, my voting record's a fucking mess. Somebody should write a book about my voting record. Somebody actually on CNN said that. They're like, the people that voted, it was some woman on CNN. She's like, the people that voted to reelect Trump or to reelect Obama that are voting for Trump, somebody needs to write a book about that. And I'm kind of sitting there going, this bitch is right. I have no idea what I'm doing. I want lower taxes.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other stuff he says is real fucked up. So I don't know how I feel about what I just did. Anyway, we do have better stuff to talk about.
All right, where were we at, dude?
I just lost half my subs because I brought up Trump.
So we lost a bunch of people because they're fucking rats with no loyalty. Then Wade was like super burnt out after like 2 months of being GM. Like around that time, I did like a lot as far as the leadership went, because it's like, you know, I had been the GM of a guild before. I knew how everything worked. Like
Right.
I knew all the, you know, I had at least started talking to all the people for politics. So it's like Wade got burnt out, and then he never asked me to take over, but I think he might have wanted to, and I didn't really let him. And then we talked and we decided it should be between Kinjara and Sov for who took over the guild. And this was after. This was either after or no, it was just before Aftershock was in Media, the Media time that you always bring up. So it was like we were sitting there and we were trying to figure out. Well, no, every time that you say Media, like you're always like, it was the time I got this, and then you link your crown and world chat.
Dude, that was a good fight. I did good there. Okay, I'm proud of it. Get over it.
Tarzan smash.
Bert says Tim kind of looks like Sarah Palin. It's the glasses.
Yeah, you're cutie, dude.
I am cute, right?
You've probably never seen a picture of me, have you, Tim?
No, I haven't. You want to? I won't put it on stream, but I'd love to see you. I'd love it.
You'd love to see me, Tim?
I'd love to see you. Have you ever seen a picture of me?
Dude, you're on stream right now.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, you tricked me into opening your stream.
I heard. Let me open his stream. You closed it too. I tried to at you and it's fucking closed, you piece of shit. Yo, let me just give me that Twitch Prime, dog. It's fine.
You did Twitch, dude. I don't even follow you, man. You have to earn my money, dude.
What am I doing right now?
Talking to me?
I'm not earning your money.
What are you gonna start talking to everybody and asking them to sub at the end of the discussion?
I just want your.
Come on, man. I hung out with you and talked to you for like 2 hours, man. Give me some money.
That's some door-to-door salesman shit right there.
Hang on, I'm getting spammed on Discord. Let me.
Are you saying wrong things?
I have a feeling I'm gonna get in trouble at some point on here. When we move into the alliance stuff and we're talking about current guilds, I'm probably gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, we're ready. We've been hitting the sizzle. We're about to hit the steak.
Here, let's see. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. If all right, I'll shill out for you, Tim. I'll hook you up, dude. If you get 2 subs during the duration of this podcast, I'll send you a picture to put up on stream.
Oh my god, look at you. You did used to stream.
You get 2 subs, dude.
2 subs. We got a couple of sugar daddies in here. That'll happen in 2
Yeah.
seconds flat. Oh, there's a Twitch Prime right
Holy
there.
fuck, dude.
I have announcements off. So
this might have been a mistake, dude. Fuck my
there you go.
life,
There's
man.
2 done. Gifted to Junior Source Rex. Thank you guys for the subs. Give me the fucking picture. Why'd you say 2? You should have said 20. Fuck.
Dude, I didn't think people would sub to you, man.
They really want me to see you.
Kill me, man.
It wasn't even for me to show your picture on stream. It was just like for me to look at your face.
Yeah, we were going for 15 to go on stream, dude.
Oh, 15
right?
subs to go on stream.
No, we were going for 50, dude.
50?
I don't give a shit, man. I already got doxxed by Snake, dude. They sent my
That's
shit
fucked
around.
up. I don't like doxing.
It wasn't like super hardcore. It was just one of those dudes who left. Oh, okay, so this is actually interesting. So a girl in Vertex that I talk to and hang out with, one of the guys who left us to join Snake was like trying to flirt with her and sent her a picture of me pretending it was him.
You're that hot?
That was some weird shit. That happened.
Send me your picture. I want to see how cute you are.
Say it that way, man. Dude, I'm gonna get in trouble, man. This is bad.
For what? Sending me your picture? I'm not putting it on stream. Is this gonna be like you and I next to each other in my high school or something? Is that why you're gonna get in trouble?
Dude, this is gonna be a selfie of me outside your house, dude, with a fucking sledgehammer.
Yo, I will sledgehammer fucking battle you right now.
Yeah. You want a sword fight, dude? Yeah, this is a picture of me.
I think I'm fucking kidding. I got it right here. Oh man, you are kind of cute.
Kind of cute, dude.
You got those light eyes. You got the trendy beard. You should probably trim that beard up a little bit.
Dude, it's actually longer now than it was back then.
Why? Is that your Tinder profile picture?
Hell no. Think I fuck around on Tinder, dude?
I 100%. I'm sure you fuck around on Tinder.
Dude, I don't fuck with thoughts like that.
But what do? You just go to fucking bars and you're just like, hey, I don't care that you're married. Come home with me.
No comment? No.
Grinder. Moreland says grinder. You are in Vertex. That would make sense. Really just trying to steal Moreland's content right now and have some Tinder stories. That's my aim.
Right. Hell yeah, dude. Tim, when was the last time that you went out, man?
I go out most Friday nights. That's when I get in trouble on Discord. If you get a text message from me on or a Discord message from me on Friday, I'm drunk and out.
You better not flirt with me, dude. I'll expose that shit.
I know you will. Dude, the person that exposes the most shit, Pax. You cannot send him one thing. Everything you send Pax goes straight to all of his officers instantly.
No, dude.
Yes.
Pax. I trust the fuck out of Pax, man.
I did too.
Pax is a solid dude.
He is a solid dude, but you know, he's not afraid to show a little screenshot on that. Maybe he's just mad at me because I betrayed him to McCann's.
What?
Did you miss all that?
What?
Oh man! All right, chat. Get your Aftershock GM interviews, TimAllen memes ready. So the week that we took, you know, Medaya, good fight, dodged the helping.
Oh,
snake.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
And then I
put
put Pax in for my spot.
That dude made like the video where he had like the hand.
Yeah,
and it was like, dude,
you just got gifted a sub to my channel. Congratulations.
You know that. Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, what do I get? Do you have any cool emotes?
I applied to Twitch for partner.
Yeah, this ugly shit, dude. What is this?
Dude, it was 5 weeks.
This is all you have in your stream, Tim!
I have so many emotes ready to go, okay? I just need the fucking people to look at my application and go, holy shit, this kid has tripled what we look for. Okay? They're ready to go.
Dude, this is the alpha emote. Hang on.
You gonna fucking
That's the alpha emote right there, man.
No, yeah, I have it too.
There's that one, and then the Van Man Down. Those are my two favorite Twitch emotes. But I think Vanguards actually took the Man Down one off. Hell yeah, brother. Moro Pride text.
Brother. Have I thought
Did I
about
type it
swapping
that?
to V-necks? No, I'm not a V-neck kind of guy.
Yeah.
The shirt ugly?
Why did I get permitted?
Permitted?
What's going on here,
What are
dude?
you doing? Did you just get modded?
I don't know. Did I? Am I a mod now?
No, you should not be a mod here.
Mod me, dude.
Fuck no.
You're going to ask me to sub to you and you're not going to mod me?
Well, you didn't do it, so it's too late.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to sub if you're not going to mod me.
You already got gifted a sub. You can't even use your... you have Twitch Prime, too. Fuckhead.
Yeah, I don't think I've used the Twitch Prime sub in like months.
And just go give it to Moreland right now.
I'm already subbed to Moreland. Dude, I just used his fucking
God.
emote in your
that's true.
stream.
You got timed out for saying X. Don't time out winners. We are not on topic here.
Yeah, dude, I just resubbed Moreland for 14 months this
Holy
morning.
shit.
Yeah, man.
How long has he been in Vertex?
Like 14 or 15 months.
Okay. You just okay.
iCrow Live. Yeah, I was with Black on R1.
I didn't really start watching Twitch until I started streaming. I know that's kind of a toxic thing to say, but it's true. Then I figured out who all
Listen,
the good people
Tim.
are.
I'll give you 30 seconds, man. If you can come up with something good that you want your chat to do to earn my picture getting put on your overlay, you have my permission, dude. It's got to be something good, though. Can't be any pussy shit.
I don't know what something good means. I don't know you well enough to be able to put that down.
Oh, all right. Okay, so
let's leave it up to chat. They get 5 minutes to come up with a copy pasta that will make you want to show your picture.
Okay.
And you better spam the fuck out of it.
Okay, so we're at Sov taking over.
Yeah.
Something around.
So Sov taking over is right after Modiah, right?
Yeah, well, it's just beforehand because I remember, dude, when Sov first Sov didn't like me for like the longest fucking time, dude. Sov actually fucking hated me for like the year leading up to him taking over.
Why?
And then for like the first couple of weeks, dude, I have a really polarizing personality, man.
Really?
Yeah, like the way I talk to you is pretty normal for the way that I talk to people, you know?
Okay.
Well, I don't know. So he just didn't like me for whatever reason. And then like after the first couple of weeks, like after he took over, when he realized how much of a fucking shit show and like how cancerous politics were, like I think he started appreciating it. And now the guy likes me. But because I was still doing it when he took over, and his like instant reaction was like he wanted to be cued in on everything. So it would be like 5 a.m, and I'd still be talking to Firen about like cutting some deal to continue fighting Snake. And I'd like cue Sov in on it, and he'd be like, fine. And he'd like get out of bed and like come and listen in. And then like 6 hours later, we're still talking about it. And he's like, what the fuck, dude? I need to go to sleep.
I remember that time. Remember that time that you brought Sov into a comms with me? He said like 2 things. Do you remember that?
No.
It was bad. I knew it was serious though when you brought Sov into it. Okay, so you start finally getting Sov's approval. So when do you start actually running politics for Vertex? Well, what was like your first major fight conflict thing? Was that the Calpheon thing?
No. So the first time that I did political shit for Vertex was just after. Oh man, this is far back. I need to pull up the node report. Actually, let me go look at this. It was when I don't know if you actually like know a lot of the politics for our backstory, but like it was in between those two medias at whatever point. it was when FML was like starting to peak.
Okay.
And it was before we went to Media and like dropped down to 70 people. So it was like we were in Serendia and like we were going to 1v1 FML for the territory, and then there was like this big oopsie where like I had taken over for doing Diplo, but people still like had relationships with other guilds. So I talked to FML and we were like, yeah, we're gonna clear everyone off the region and then we're gonna 1v1. And then like I had talked to Sasha, who I still was pretty like newly formed relationship. Like we didn't really know each other that well. I talked to Sasha and he was basically saying like, well, we have nowhere to go at the moment. If we go to Balanos, there's a big ass fucking alliance there. There's nothing we can do. Calpheon, Show, and Barcode are rotating it. So it's like we kind of have to come to Serendia. And I was like, just don't do that, dude. Like we're trying to do our own thing, don't infringe on it. And then that was like earlier in the week. And then I think I was in school at the time, so like I wasn't paying close attention. And someone else talked to BR and they were like, yeah, dude, it's fine. You guys should just come. And then there was like this big fucking oopsie where it's like, okay, well now BR's here and we're 2v1ing FML. So
Yeah.
question mark. And that was when I started kind of kicking into overdrive and being like, I'm going to take this over. I'm going to micromanage it.
So you were part of the decision of not going Medaya that week that I'd love to talk about and heading over to Balanos, because I think that's such a weird. I really, out of all the stuff I've seen and all the stuff I've paid attention to, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen was, I'll pull it up on the map again here on stream. I brought this up with Sav and everybody, but I'm pretty sure this is more you. You had this kind of weird spot over by Sauce and Garrison Wharf for Medaya territory. Like it was like literally the last spot, right? But if you guys went there, ostensibly, you would have held it again. I have no idea why you went to Balanos.
So, the reason we pulled off it is because the week beforehand, we had dropped, we were only at like 70 people at the time.
Right, but it was still like way more than enough. You still had your core.
Tim.
What?
Let your guest speak, dude. Come on, man. So the week before we were down people, right? We were at like 70, 75-ish. And I had been cutting a deal with the other guilds who were there because we had a plan with FML when we went to rotate Calpheon to break up Cho and Barcode that we were going to go to Medaya after a certain period of time. So we show up there, and after week one, the next night, it's like coincidentally, like one of our officers and two of our core members leave, and Snake has a bunch of screenshots of our officer chat. And then the officer is like, I wasn't going to do it, but then you called me out and like said I was a scumbag, so now I'm gonna. And then he joined Snake. And then it was following a fight where we were fighting Snake in the desert, and they like started inside our base. We traded pretty evenly with them. Like they were pretty clearly still, ahead of us, but we were like starting to feel as strong. Like we were feeling like we were getting there. And then the guild like imploded and a bunch of people left, and like there was a bunch of drama. People were like messaging everyone on the roster saying, you should leave. That's a scummy guild. They do scummy shit. And it's like question marks for why it even happened. But after all that happened, we still wanted to continue the fight in Media. And obviously we had the numbers to do it. There were a fuckload of guilds that were interested in it. So it's like we were still trying to, cut deals to make it happen because we wanted to keep the pressure up. And we didn't really, it didn't shake us that much. So we were there the following week. We agreed to do a 2v2 BR Vertex versus Cho Hexus at the time. And obviously we lost that because both of them were very high numbers. We were low numbers, and like BR was stronger than Hexus but weaker than Cho at the time. So it was a questionable call, but we didn't care that much about winning the castle. But BR did, and they wanted like a legitimate chance for it, which we thought it was going to be a closer fight than it was, but it wasn't. So like afterwards, Sasha wanted to go to Cal and just kind of do his own thing. So he went there to do that, and then Cho told us the following week, which is the one you're talking about, where we went to Balanos. They were like, because they were in Castle, they were like, we're going to defend this, we're going to trade it off, and then we're going to go to Calpheon and fight Black Rose. And after like hours of trying to talk to them and make sure that that didn't happen, they weren't budging on it. So we were like, well, this is a lost cause. Like we didn't want to have, because if we lost Cho, then it was just Hexus and 70 Vertex,
right?
And against Snake and whatever allies they bring, you need a big force to do that, especially at the time. So it's like,
so you just cut early and just dipped out and like,
so we were like, this is like,
so you were still gonna have to 2v2 or whatever after the fact, and that's why you cut out.
No, they would have given us the castle for us to stay there, and we were like, no, it's not worthwhile. Like we didn't want to invest into going there and taking it for a week just to get shit on the following week. Dude, we had like 75 people in the guild, man. Like we needed time off. We needed easy fights. We needed to be able to rebuild,
So how tough was it losing to the back end of my alliance on Balanos when you went to Balanos?
Oh god. Well, dude, we dropped solo and it was what, like a 5v1?
Like Fortune, Ariara, and I don't even fucking remember.
No, there were way more guilds than that. I think Rage was there for it.
I've never worked to deal with Rage.
No, yeah, I know, but I think they were there. Let me look at the node report. I didn't actually put it up. Let me take a look.
I'm not that reformed. Okay, so the copy pasta that we got was, don't let Snake's implosion distract you from the fact that I hoped we, Vertex, had proven that it's possible to be a successful standalone guild, and had hoped Villain would attempt to do the same.
That's a letdown, dude. What a shitty copy pasta.
I thought so.
That's really low effort, dude.
Is this chat sub only? I feel like that's a better copy pasta. Let's all just spam, is this chat sub only?
Okay, where are we at?
No, I just have a bunch of subs.
So many weeks back, dude. We're... Yeah, Rage was there. Oh, no. It was Fortune, Giga, Nagas.
Oh, Nagas was probably unofficially with us at that point. That was like...
Yeah.
I just remember I'm going to be here. And we're like, you're not going to be here. He's like, I'm actually here. We
were like farming the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah,
dude.
I bet your KD was just crazy.
It was like... it was just the hordes, man. It was horde mode. So it was like... Eventually, I don't think it even took that long. I think it was only like 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
But it was just constant stream of like 2-3 big guilds pushing into us. Because at the time, it was just before DMG. I think like it was like a month before DMG when Giga was big, Nagas was big at the time, and Fortune was still pretty big at the time. So it was like kind of hopeless.
Fortune had numbers, I think, back then. I don't know. I like Fortune, but it was weird being allied with them.
Dude, I've always had a very weird rapport with them.
Yep, I think that's par for the course. I think Cassis does a good job, right? She's a good girl. She knows what she's doing. But
oh man, dude.
What?
She's a good girl.
She's a good girl. She is. She's a cool chick, but it was the draw for me was I was super into killing Kyokai at that time, and it was like if I could take Fortune, then we'd never have to worry about it again. So that was, and then we did right by him. But anyway, so
yeah, did you? You guys stranded him, man. You left them.
We gave them 2 weeks of Serendia, and then we
put
them with their friends at Hexus, and we're like, look. We're going to go do this Calpheon thing. You guys kiss and have fun. But you're going to do nothing on Calpheon. We're fine. Everything's cool. We're friends with Fortune. It's okay. We made up. Wasn't that bad. Okay, so let's get into So you sit on Balanos for 2 weeks, and then you're literally in world chat. I think Vudani was in world chat. He's like, somebody please fucking take Balanos from us, because nobody dropped against Vertex on Balanos.
We couldn't find anyone, dude.
You were trying to get me to go there, and I didn't
dropped,
fucking trust it. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, no.
We initially dropped with Rage after that week. We were like, all right, well, we need to kick into gear. So we dropped with Rage, and they helped us out. And it was a pretty big fight. And there were 2 other guilds, Crimson Kingdom and TLP, I think. They were there that we were friendly-ish with, so they like helped out. And then it was kind of awkward at the end of it. This is probably the closest thing that someone could say to me, like, being shady as far as like deals go, is we had talked to them and they were like, yeah, sure, we'll help. And then the night of, they were like, so who are we fighting after? And I was just kind of sitting there like, well, we didn't talk about fighting, dude. Like, you just said you were going to help. And they took it really, like, they took it a bad way.
That's the worst thing you've ever done, huh? That's it?
Well, the shadiest.
The shadiest thing, okay.
I got called out hard on that. And I was sitting there, I was like, dude, this is a very unofficial deal that we made. Like, we found out, like, a day before that you're coming, or, like, 2 days before. And then the day of, like, as Siege is starting, you're, like, asking to fight for it. Fight 1v1 against, our ally that we had agreed to give it to. So it was like, that was weird. And then the following week, no one came. And then we were, like, begging people to come and take it off our hands.
Literally. I literally messaged Vudani. I was like, is this real? Because I might come back to Balanos. He's like, yes, we don't care. Just fucking take it. And so I think, do you have the sheet still?
It was TLP that we ended up getting it to.
Yeah, I think
I really like that guild, dude. I love TLP, man. Those dudes, I miss them, dude. They basically, like, their leadership is basically quit the game. But I was super hyped that we got them that region. I thought that they would be growing. They ended up not. But
so from there, it went to Calpheon, and really that was the start of what's been the basis of 2018 for the Siege scene, right? That's when you started talking about moving east.
Yeah.
So I really want to ask about this. And
this is when we're getting into troublesome territory, dude. We're gonna get in trouble.
Because I can't fucking put my head around this to save my life. I've never understood your decision with this. So Trap Alliance is a force, right? And we just proved that on Medaya, that, we can sway the fights. And so I message you after this Calpheon debacle, right? So let's talk about Calpheon first. So we go to Calpheon because Trap Alliance, once, we got the taste of castles, and when we keep it going, which is code for Hickey's like, when's our turn? Because he pulled some shady shit on Medaya, pulling people off of Medaya when they were supposed to show up there to honor our agreement. And so Adam is just fucking cock thirsty for a castle crown, right? And he's always had this little boy wet dream about having his guild picture specifically above Calpheon Bank, because that's where he went for the first day. He went to a bank or something. And so, yeah, that's all. That's true. All of this is true. I'm using toxic words, but it's all true. And so, we get hot and heavy on this, right? And so we cut a deal with Cho. And so we go there. And did we talk about that? Were you concerned about me going to
Calpheon? Man.
Yeah.
Dude, do you not recall the offer that I made you? I made you an offer before Cho did.
Right. Okay. So this is what I couldn't fucking understand. That's right. So going into this, I think this is what really drove me to go to Calpheon, was your fucking dog shit pussy ass offer of me. Thank you, sweetie.
How is that a dog shit pussy
It's such a fucking dog shit. Just drag my balls across your forehead. We have no respect for you. Just really never exist in this world kind of offer. Whatever you do, this is how you can work with us. Don't go to Calpheon. Do you really think I was going to... Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, mute your mic. Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. That's just a funny way to describe it.
You realize that just pushes me instantly, and you're pushing me so hard. You're like, I need to know if you're gonna do this. I need to know if you're gonna do this. And I'm like, yeah. Let me go back to my officers and be like, hey guys, here's how we can really help out Vertex. Not build on Calpheon. We're going to be such an important part of their alliance. They're going to give us all these territories. It's going to be Vertex and Aftershock and Trap Alliance forever. What the fuck were you thinking? You really think I was that big of a beta cuck?
Dude, well, yes. And when it comes to the metagame, dude, like, we observed and we knew who is friendly with mana, right? Because going into
it was not me,
Calpheon. Come on, man.
100%. You have that 100% wrong. What you took in was that Hickey built with them once or twice, or whatever the case was, right?
Yeah, but you were still boys with them.
I was rubbing my balls on Adam's face, man. I was running that alliance. That kid stepped out of position, and I snapped his neck right back. That's how that went. All right, well, I wasn't fucking sweet with Lyreley. He wanted to kill me. Lyreley and I did not have a relationship until I started playing ball with him on Calpheon because you were such a bitch to me.
Well, let's put it out there so that people know the deal that I came to Tim with was that, because at the time it was Vertex and Black Rose and a couple of smaller guilds. Tim, did you just get up? Buddy? Tim? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. No, tell the people the deal.
Oh, okay. All right. Tim, I'm not going to explain this while you're not even fucking sitting down, guy. Emergency poop. Tim, are you sweating right now, dude? Do you not want to be here when I explain this? Well, yeah, man, but if I sit down at a table with somebody to talk about something, I'm not going to continue talking when they go into the kitchen just so that I can because they can hear me. It's all right. I mean, I don't care. I'll wait for the guy to get back. Yo, Pax is here.
I had to pee. I can't believe you didn't just keep going. Come on, man.
Well, say that shit, dude. Don't just get
us. It was supposed to be a meme. Do you know what a meme is? I walk away because it was so fucking insulting. You tell the thing, you don't watch a stream, but you're like fucking that. I didn't even get outside my door before you're like, Tim, and you're tapping on your microphone.
Buddy,
friend. All right, so yeah, let's get in your head on this because I have huge fucking. It was obviously your first couple weeks on this.
Oh, dude, I'm getting added in your chat. Actually, hang on. What's going on here? You know what? Yeah, Laurie, tell me later. I'd be interested in hearing about it. Okay, so talking metagame, we knew that Cho was friendly or at least like amicable with Mana. We knew that Snake was on good terms with them. Dude, yeah. I'm gonna expose Lyreley hard as fuck in this podcast.
Yeah, he's never gonna play this game again, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think that he necessarily
Man-Up's not gonna come kill your guild. You'll be fine.
Dude, they couldn't if they wanted to, and they tried. I do have a feeling though that he probably has like an ounce of regret with that. Like, he should have killed Vertex when he had the chance.
Oh, we'll get into that. I'll tell you all the fucking shit that I dealt with on that side. We'll get there. I promise. Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, so check this out. We're sitting in Balanos, and we're coming up with a plan of attack on how we're gonna do this shit, because it's still fresh wounds with what happened with Snake, where like a bunch of people left, and they're all BMing.
Wait. So you're licking your wounds, right? That's a fair statement on Balanos. You're rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're just sitting there stewing, going, "How the fuck do we dethrone Man-Up?"
Well, we were thinking, how do we take the fight back? We're not. So you
you very specifically targeted Man-Up and not Snake through this.
Yes, because when we were in Calpheon, the choice was between going after Man Up with Cho or going after Snake without Cho. So if Cho never decided to work with us, we would have gone after Snake first.
Okay.
Which is actually, I probably should have brought this up first. When we first went to Medea, so the time that you came,
yeah,
the first week we were going there when it was just Vertex and FML, Man Up was supposed to be there. They had an agreement with Snake where they were going to defend each other's territory in alt guilds because they were both like above a 20 streak. Yeah, no, that was real. That was 100% real.
Nobody's ever said fucking B-Kill was on here. He didn't say that. I'm sure that was before.
Why would he expose that shit? No, I don't think it was.
They really had that changes everything.
Yeah, dude, I had a Discord set up with like me. It was me, Wade, I believe, and me, Wade, Proto, Torment, and Lyrelay. And we had discussed our plan for Man Up betraying Snake to kill them to put FML in their place in Medea. That's real. That's an actual thing. So we went through that process, and then when it came down to it, like a couple of days beforehand, Lyrelay and Torment said that they weren't willing to risk getting backdoored, so they wanted one of our two guilds, FML or Vertex, to protect them on Valencia when they did it. And both of us were like, well, fuck you, guy. We don't really need you.
Yeah.
So instead, they just told Snake, like, we're not actually going to do it. But, I mean, it's if they didn't actually plan on doing that, I don't know why they would have made the plan with us where they had the agreement where they were going to defend each other.
My perception of Snake versus Man Up, and we'll get into this, as we get through the timeline, was, and maybe this was before Snake hit Man Up, right?
No, this was after.
There was some serious tension between Snake and Man Up. There was, and I'm surprised that was a thing. Nobody's ever said something like that. But I'm not right. So that was a big kind of.
It ties into later, dude.
Okay.
It ties into later. It gets even better later. But it was a big public meme, and like everyone thought it was a joke, and like everyone thought it was some like fight the machine conspiracy theory. But it wasn't a conspiracy theory. It was like an actual conspiracy. Like those two guilds were not going to fight each other, and they had a long-standing, or I don't even know if it was long-standing. I think they had only been talking about it for like a couple of months, but they had an agreement where they were going to defend each other in their alt guilds. That's like absolutely a thing.
No, okay, Pax, I don't think Winners is full of shit. I've never said that. I believe when he's here saying stuff, I believe he's saying, I've never had like a you're full of shit moment with Winners. I've had this. So what we're trying
I'm one of the most honest people man. You never caught me in a lie, dude. I don't lie about shit.
No, just a shitty offer. So I ran to pee. Let's go back to that. So
okay, so we're looking at the meta game. We know that Man Up and Snake have this agreement, and we assumed that after Snake had been hit, that there was going to be some agreement between them that they were going to try to upkeep. So I already know that Snake is on the table they're on the table to defend each other. That Cho is friendly enough with them that they would at least not go attack them. More than likely, they wouldn't have defended for them, but they would have been straight up in Calpheon if we had gone.
Yeah.
And we had learned after what happened in Medea, where we took a big hit, like you need somewhere to fall back to, right? If you're going to make a big step like that, if you're going to try to jump over,
you need to hold Calpheon.
a little pit, you need a net. Otherwise, you're going to hit rock bottom, and that shit does not feel good.
Balanos is fine. It's not rock bottom, okay?
So we're sitting there, and it's like, I know Hickey is friendly with Man Up and like a slew of other guilds, dude. Like,
sure.
The whole meme where it's like Vertex made this big alliance and it's so uncalled for and all this shit. The reality of the situation is, dude, that is, you cannot, you don't fuck around when you're in a situation like that. In a game like this, where people can make your life hell, you have to be prepared to make theirs hell first.
So you really didn't trust me to work with you? Is that what it came down to?
It's not that I distrusted you. It's like,
speak plainly. It's fine. Just
the whole point was we didn't want to be on bad terms with Cho. So when we went to Calpheon, it's like it was us and BR. Cho had castle advantage. They asked us to 1v1 the first week, and we were just kind of like, we're going to show up and fight.
Because we
didn't agree.
Cho was ostensibly stronger than you at that point, right? You guys were pretty,
yeah. Because dude, we were just at 75 people,
right?
Dude, we had a trap in our guild that Sov thought was cute, that he saw streaming one night, who was like 420 gear score, that played a tamer. Like they had only been playing the game for like a couple months, dude. Like we had like a totally random roster.
After this podcast, you can 100% build bases for Aftershock, by the way. It'll be fine. You can join.
Yeah.
We don't carry your Kuno. It's okay. We're a family style guild. We don't yell.
So we're going into this undermanned, dude. Like Cho was definitely stronger than us on the field at the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I saw it.
You know, when we were rebuilding after we lost our shot caller, FML was stronger than us. Like, there have been a couple of times where we definitely got checked for our spot below Snake and Man Up, like right below them. Recently, I don't think that it's happened, but back then, yeah, for sure. Cho's a strong guild. They're still strong as fuck, man. They're on a bad luck streak, dude. Like, I
don't think Cho's in a bad spot right now. I think, Cho's...
Well, like, bad luck. Like, oh, well, we had a shitty base position. This is awkward now, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that it necessarily is a referendum on their actual strength as a guild.
Right. Their open field's crazy. Agreed.
Yeah. So back then it's like, and I mean, dude, the whole thing with the castle 1v1 is such a fucking meme, dude. It's such a joke.
Can we get to we've been trying to get to this whole, the thing that you told me. What was your offer to Trap Alliance?
It's like it was like the first 2 weeks we went with just BR. And then Cho got a bunch of allies. And we were sitting there and we were like, all right, well, we need to figure out how we're going to fight this.
There's a bunch of
what we have right now, we can fight it with. So when I came to you, the offer that I gave you was stay out of Calpheon, and when we move on from Calpheon, it's all yours.
And what was your timeline for moving on to Calpheon, and how much help
be determined.
You provide?
To be determined, and absolutely none. I told you had to fight for it on your own.
So
how is that a cucked out beta deal, man? That's a good deal.
How isn't it? How is that not?
Why do you need someone to give it to you?
That's a fair question. I guess I didn't realize how many guilds you'd be able to suck up, right? So Hikikomori versus Aftershock. Hikikomori and Aftershock versus Black Rose, or somebody who's kind of a wild card that could fall out, or maybe even just a Zerg. It just wasn't good enough of a deal. In a to be determined timeline, stay at a Calpheon for what could be months, and actually did end up being close to a couple of months.
Yeah, it was like 3 months.
Because if we were part of it, we would have cleared that shit out and we would have moved on within 4 weeks. We would have just done it. It would have just been done. We would have just gone on, because we had our own little meme of Zerg guilds and stuff like that. And I just couldn't understand why you wouldn't wrap around and just take the easy way through this and work with us instead of trying to keep me out of it.
Kind of guy, dude.
Your plan was literally to either beat Cho down to a tier 4 Balanosa Serendia, or force them to work with you.
We knew what Cho wanted at the time. What Cho wanted at the time was to be able to just hang out in Calpheon. And we were going to give them hell if they wanted to do that.
Oh my god.
It wasn't about trying to kill Cho. It wasn't about trying to weaken them. We wanted to convert them. We wanted them to genuinely see through our lens and want to. No, well, I mean, we wouldn't have chased them anywhere or done anything fucked up with them. we didn't want to kill them, dude. This game needs more guilds, not less guilds. It was never our plan to kill anybody.
Right, no, but you
Even
wanted to
Mana.
relegate them to Balanos or Serendia or get them to move on.
Right, relegated or come with us.
Right.
I don't think that's totally unreasonable.
I just don't understand. I feel like I was the easy option, and and I guess it was the correlation that we had worked with Cho. So when we were working with Cho, Lyrelay started getting invited to like the Discord messages, and he was like, "This is the greatest correlation of these guilds I've ever seen. This is awesome. This is what we want to see." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, you did nothing. You did absolutely
yeah, dude.
nothing.
I got told from a source that Lyrelay had hooked you guys and Hickey up with Cho.
No.
So I knew you were coming beforehand.
I reached
and that's
out
when
to
I
Cho.
reached
That was
out.
100% me. Lyrelay did none of that.
Did you?
Yep.
I got told that Lyrelay hooked up Adam and Cho. I don't know how true that is. I actually, dude, the funny thing is we didn't really talk that much about Calpheon with Cho after we started working with them. Like both, it was just kind of like a game recognizes game, you know? Like we had a lot of fun. Those were good fights. But
so
the whole thing was we wanted you to stay out because we didn't want it to escalate. Like we genuinely didn't want it to be the big, 7v7, giant Zerg fights that it turned into. That's not at all what we wanted. So the whole idea was you guys, stay out, and then when we're done here, we're either going to be moving east with Cho, or they're not going to be in a position to come and fight you, right? So the idea was, it wasn't going to be a handout.
That's what it was. Is we'd have to fuck over Cho and deal with Cho, and I just didn't. That's what it was. That was the guild that
I talked to you about it before they offered you anything, didn't I?
No, I was tied into Cho.
I thought I did.
No,
maybe you didn't tell me that.
Maybe I 100% didn't tell you that. You were looking for information that we were tied into that, and you were hard up on me that I wasn't spilling that, because that'd be treason if I have a deal that's supposed to be at least somewhat secret, and you're like, if you're not going to accept this, then you need to tell me, or else you're backstabbing me. That's the mentality you came at, and I'm like, I don't. Like, you were just trying to bully me. Stay off my territory, and if you don't tell me what you're doing, then you're a fucking piece of shit. And I'm like, how am I supposed to trust that?
Well, dude, you got to remember too, man, the whole media thing. Like, I talked to you in that time frame. Like, I gave you a lot of information. We talked a lot in DMs, and then it was like you magically showed up on media when you had told me you were going to be in Serendia. So yeah, I mean, I do think I had a reason to distrust you.
That's fair. The Medaya thing happened a couple of hours. Whenever I messaged PAX, what was that? That was probably, I gave you, 5-6 hours notice, maybe 12, something like that. It was like super last second that I ended up going to Medaya. So that wasn't intentional. I actually reached out to Q's and I said, hey, so we're all going to be free next week. I think you need a friend, but like, I want Medaya, and then you can have it for, the next 20-30 weeks. He goes, yeah, we get that offer a lot. And I go, yeah, maybe you should kind of weigh, how many I can bring 4 or 5 guilds. And then, an hour later, he goes, how about this week? And I'm like, well, it's only me and Hickey. He goes, yeah, we're down for that. Like, let's just do it. I'm like, I'm supposed to get Serenity this week. He goes, how about you get Medaya this week? And I was like, shit, okay. Yeah, like, I fucking color me opportunistic.
I haven't gotten that crown yet.
So I just... So I just headed out there. It wasn't like a whole big thing or anything like that. It was just like oh shit, this worked out. Holy fuck. And then we were super concerned. We were out scouting and we're like, Vertex is going to be here. That might be the difference. I was trying to beat down Exceptional Legion to stop fucking building with you guys. But I was hitting up Blade Boquest, which through the podcast I've learned was the wrong route for that, because he doesn't look at Discord because he hates it for some autistic reason. I'm not. I love Blade. Did you listen to that podcast? You 100% should. It's long, but it's really good.
I heard. Someone mentioned it.
It's really was a good one. I went from.
Someone mentioned that. I remember someone said that they didn't like Blade before they watched it, and they liked him afterwards. So maybe
it's me.
Actually, go watch it.
A lot of other people, but like it was me. Like I thought this kid was a cheating piece of opportunistic shit, and then I talked to him for 3 hours, and I was like, this poor fucking guy, like he doesn't deserve any of this. Once you finally actually hear his story from start to finish, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, dude, I mean, it's the internet. I think that maybe one in every 1,000 people that you see get lampooned on the internet actually deserves it.
The reason he got lampooned is because he's actually a nice guy, and he doesn't like bite back on trolls. He just kind of he takes it, and that shit bottles up.
He's a Mormon, dude.
Is he?
I think so.
Okay.
Am I crazy for thinking that? I'm pretty sure he is.
No, no.
Dude, turn the other cheek, man.
Anyway, so I just, man, Adam was such a fucking redheaded stepchild in that whole thing, and I figured that was the reason you didn't want to do it. But I understand. So you didn't want to make it. You didn't want to make it like the server v server thing. That it
Yeah,
ended
we
up
genuinely wanted people to just kind of mind their own business. Like everyone that we ever talked to that worked with Cho at the time, and like you and I talked to you, is like, just stay out, dude. Come fight for it yourself afterwards. You know, because it was just like us and BR and, you know, one or two smaller guilds that we would pick up at the time versus, you know, Cho and an already larger force of just smaller guilds, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like we looked at it as one, our agenda here will get extended more and more the more people there are helping, right? The more people that get involved, the longer it's going to take for us to move through this phase of our plan.
Sure.
Right? Like that's pretty understandable.
So the leadership of Vertex was all about this. This was kind of your baby, though, right? Like, let's hit back.
Well, the I wouldn't go so far as to say that. At the I think after the first like couple of weeks, everyone was on board, everybody. But when you're doing like big things, even if it's just like a fucking meme alliance on a video game, you know, people are always going to be uncomfortable with it. And that's probably one of the healthiest things that we have with our leadership, is that it's not that the leadership isn't cohesive. It's that there are a lot of people who are of their own mindset, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no full-on figurehead, and there are no yes men in the leadership here. So it's like, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, I was the one who ran the alliance. I was the one who made a lot of the decisions and like pulled the trigger on stuff, but I still had input, you know? It's not like I was just alone behind the wheel yelling at all the people to pull on the sails, you know? Like, you know, Pax could attest to it too. Pax was
I wanted to bring up
pretty
Pax.
involved in the.
So I feel like Pax was kind of the replacement. He was where I should have been, to be honest. Is you brought him in, and during his podcast, he said pretty early on, even though he tried to keep arm's length away from it for whatever reason. So he was the guy that ended up holding Calpheon for you guys, right?
Well, yeah, when you guys turned down our plan, I already knew you were coming with Cho.
Down
so we
your
started.
plan. Honestly, if you were in my position, what the fuck would you have done?
I mean, I don't know, man. We're two very different people.
That's a garbage deal. You can't deny that. That's a fucking.
It's not a garbage deal, man.
You really still think that's
what's
not
so
a garbage deal?
about it, dude? Step up your game, dude. You can defend a castle from Cho. The whole concept at the time was that we weren't going to be leaving until we knew that we could handle going to Valencia or going to Medea without them, right? So we still had some time, and if we were going to do it, it was going to be under the pretense that if it failed and the guild took another big hit, we would have something to fall back on. Right, so it's not like we were going to come back and like zerg you out or ask for it back, but it's like if Cho is sitting there holding the region for weeks while we go off to fight people, we're not going to be able to fight them if we take a hit. Right?
Okay.
So we would want them to be in a position, if they wouldn't work with us, where if we were to come back to Calpheon, they wouldn't be sitting there fatter and stronger than they already were. Because at the start of all that, they were a lot stronger than us on the field.
I just never thought they'd lose their core, and they would never let go of Calpheon, right?
They didn't lose their core. They, right. I mean, they might have lost one or two like core players over the duration of that.
So we're talking about Aftershock core, because Hikikomori was already getting fucking stupid. And so that maybe that was part of it that you didn't really realize is I lost trust in Hikikomori after the shit they pulled on Medaya, pulling Fortune back to Balanos. So Fortune was supposed to be on Medaya to support Aftershock getting Medaya. But Adam, Hikikomori GM, told Cassis behind my back to go to Balanos because there was no fight on Medaya, even though we were supposed to have this big show of force, right? And so I started losing, any sort of... Once you do that to me, it's like, okay, how am I supposed to fucking trust you? And he wasn't like, sorry, that was a fucked up thing to do. He was like, I did the right thing, kind of stuff, so... But let's focus on... So, Pax wants to jump in. Can we let Pax jump in for a second while we talk about him?
Yeah, but if Pax... Dude, this is my podcast, Tim. I'm the special guest. Pax can come in and he can say
you
his
are.
piece,
I want to hear you guys talk
but
about the beginning of...
We limit Pax's time.
It's up to you. It's up to you. We don't
I got love for Pax, but this is about me, dude.
Okay. We don't have to bring him in. It's up to you. It's 100%
No, pull him in. It's fine. Dude, I haven't talked to Pax and comms in a little bit. Is that the man? Is he here?
Yeah, I'm here. I
didn't
want to run over your podcast. I just was saying, hey, I'm in chat if you want me to answer.
Yeah, well, you can. Yeah.
So how'd you guys get hooked up?
Corroborate.
So we're merging the two podcasts. You did your story a little bit, but we've evolved in this entire story altogether. So I feel like you took my spot, honestly, in this whole kind of let's go east thing, because I was gung ho on going east. But if I'm not invited to the party, then I'm going to be on the other side. So how did you guys get hooked up, and what was the beginning of it?
Well, I mean, you guys turned down our deal, and you went with Cho, so we needed help, and we offered.
But Cho was coming. Why did
deal.
you need? So you want them to hold Calpheon? Was that really their whole thing?
No. What?
If Cho's with you, why did you need Notorious?
Cho wasn't with us at the time.
When you
joined Cho to come and fight us.
And then Notorious was
Vertex
there against
and BR.
us. That's right. Okay.
Yes, against you. They joined us at the start of all of it.
So Notorious probably wouldn't have been
on,
part of it if I didn't join Cho.
No, we were there at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Pax, you probably remember all the way back to when we first started talking about it. It's like the reason why we hadn't talked to anyone really or tried to recruit people is because we didn't want it to escalate.
Okay, so you picked us up because FML died. And there was kind of nowhere to, there wasn't enough without FML. So you kind of came to us. It was you and Sasha one night, I remember that. And then once you picked us up, it was like, we're not going to pick anyone else up unless they pick more people up. And then they zerged us out the week after. So then we started talking to more people.
Yeah. Cho's formidable, man. Good guild.
Right, that's the reason I didn't take your deal, is because I would have to fucking fight Cho. I don't think that was stupid. I don't think that was dumb.
Yeah, but do you feel dumb about taking their deal and then losing?
3 minutes.
I feel dumb about... I really didn't... So what ended up happening, right, was and this is almost ancient history, when the servers were so bad that these castles were unfightable. Right, so Black Rose... No, you guys, Vertex, axed us down. And then somebody axed Black Rose down. That's how it went down. That second week when
Cho
Hickey...
did, yeah.
No. Hickey was in the castle.
Cho did.
Cho axed down Cho. Black Rose. Vertex axed down Aftershock. After we got axed down, we couldn't res or anything like that. There was no defense. You guys just hit axes, we're dead. Half of Hikikomori's force just disconnected. They just left. They just went, okay, fuck this. And then they absolutely 100% refused to come back. I remember, I've got a route that I jog to stay in shape. And I remember the houses I was passing. I put in my headset and I was talking to Adam. I go, dude, my guild's going to hate it because the lag sucks, but we have to make this right. I don't want to make an enemy of Cho for the next forever. We have to go back. And he's like, my guild will die. And I'm like, figure it out. You're a fucking guild leader. And this is 1 week after I was no longer helping him run his own guild.
And then his guild died because he couldn't swap to Valencia fast enough.
You should have been in comms for that, man. We'll get to that.
But, oh, dude, we were dying laughing.
Yeah.
We were having a good time, man.
We were laughing at him, too, to be honest. That was fucking stupid.
I'm
But
trying
that's
to be
why we
pretty
didn't go
quiet.
back. That's why we didn't go back.
We were all in on that conversation. Like all of us were sitting in a room together.
It was pretty funny, dude.
It was so funny, man. We're seeing him, and there was another GM too that was trying to place, and
He
Ruby,
did it
I
on
think,
a
killed him.
Yeah, it was. I forget who the other one was, but I remember Adam was there, and he was on a character that was above level 49.
Yeah.
And he was running across the desert. We waited for him to get there and just started farming him. And he was trying to pearl res up and still place it while people were hitting him, dude.
Dude, I placed on TimAllen.
So funny, dude.
We had 15 minutes notice. I placed on my warrior. I placed on my 61 warrior. I got it done. But he was out in the middle of nowhere. Like I placed on like the southwest part of the, just like creeped in, just like, here's my castle, see ya. And he's like fucking right out where everybody builds, like going,
Well,
it was
Tim,
really,
to be fair,
yeah.
we had 11 scouts out. You did a really good job getting through that.
Oh, really?
Dude, we had like 30 out.
Nobody even saw me. It was fucking easy.
Shit.
I ran from the south part of Valencia into the southwestern part of the territory and just put a castle down. I was like, oh, okay. So once Notorious gets in, this is a big deal, right? Like, this is server v server at this point. And what you're getting into,
I mean,
right,
that's
Pax?
in Calif, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind because, as I told you, and both you guys know, my goal was to get all 5 crowns, and this was the only round I had.
Yeah.
Can you link that
ties
Valencia
into the
crown
very
in
end.
world chat, please? Because it completes my collection. I'd appreciate that.
Don't worry, dude. I'll do you one better.
Wait, do you not have the Valencia? Oh, dude, do you know what I have from way back in the day, actually?
What? I don't
Still
have.
got
I don't have
Yeah,
chat
I
open.
feel-
I can't see.
I
it.
actually feel like a fucking idiot for still having these.
Yeah, crown.
I got Serenity and Calif.
Oh, do you,
Way back
oh,
in the
you
day.
do that?
Yeah.
I keep all mine. I keep all of my crowns. It's fun. It's cool. They're the rarest items in the game.
Yeah.
You should keep them. All right, Pax. You got anything else you want to say about the Vertex Alliance?
Well, I mean, I was just here if you wanted to talk to me directly. I'm trying not to cut into your podcast or anything, but I did notice Winters was kind of forgetting about us there a little bit.
No, yeah, well, it was leading up because I had talked to the traps to try to keep them out of Calif before I talked to you about coming.
I thought that happened afterwards, man. Because
No, I could have, because I remember thinking like, well, we didn't want to do this. We don't want it to escalate, so we hadn't talked to you yet,
Well-
and we talked to them to keep them out
Yeah,
of
we were
Calif.
definitely before you.
when you were
And then-
talking to him about keeping him out of Calif, you were actually talking to me, literally talking to me while you were talking to him. Like we were on voice and you were
Really?
talking to them. Yes.
You piece
Oh,
of
maybe.
shit.
Well, it might have been like the week after. It might have been we were like in comms, and I was trying to convince you to just fucking leave and not come back.
Was the week after Vertex or Aftershock got axed out in 3 minutes, you told Tim, don't come back, basically.
Yeah.
I agreed to it at that point because I didn't have a choice. I got in comms. That was the time we had a conversation. We molded over and I couldn't talk Adam into it. So I pulled you into a conversation. You brought Sav. This is the only time I talked to Sav before the podcast. And I spilled the beans. I'm like, look, Hikamori won't go back. We're fucking Cho because I can't just go back by myself because that won't satisfy Cho and they're not understanding the situation. So see ya, Cho. I'm going Balanos. Just a heads up. Congratulations, you won Calphion. Now you can go east. I was hoping to save a little face because I wanted Valencia at some point, and I was hoping that giving that information out so he could plan accordingly would be worth something to him. But Winters is a little bitch-ass piece of shit that just never takes anything. Anything he gets for free, he just puts in his pocket and puts up his middle finger and goes, "Fuck you, kid. I'm out. Never gonna talk to you again."
What are you
Also,
talking
He was
about?
I'm gonna
always
hunt
fair
your
to me.
guild because I hate you.
Always
Dude.
fair to me.
I only ever hunted, dude. I only ever hunted
was being
Aftershock
toxic.
as a means to an end, man. It wasn't out of spite, dude.
No, man.
That's what you gotta realize, dude. Like, I don't
it was
hold
so
grudges. I
fucked
don't
up that you
care
actually
much.
built against us like that. It really was. It really was. Huntler, thank you for the host. I really appreciate it. No, so your whole thing on this was to liberate PvP, and you were so upset about the gravity and all that going to tier 2s. hunting these guilds down, and then you do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, to you.
Was it really just me? Was it really worth it? Because we lost.
It was, dude. That's just
lost
funny as hell.
Slack
man.
shot.
You realize I was in your TeamSpeak recording during those fights.
Why would you? Why do you care so much? Why would you
Dude,
care?
I had my
much?
mic muted and I was dying laughing because it was
so
funny. It was so funny. You got so salty about it, dude. It was so funny.
No, I didn't. I kept the morale up and I did a good job.
No, you actually did. You did do a very good job of keeping a straight face with the guild. But it's like it was just funny, the reaction, dude. Where it was like I would be in there and there would be people like, well, I hope Vertex is in our fucking node again. And I'd just be sitting there like giggling to myself. Like, oh, he doesn't know yet.
Winners, I kind of want to support your story here, but I remember messaging you in the middle of a siege. This was actually in the middle of a siege. And you messaged me back, I can't talk right now. I'm listening to Tim shot calling. I'm in his guild. Something like that. Shit was so fun.
Yeah, there was some Kuno that made a meme or a hype montage, and he was in New Era, and the account that I was on is in the hype video. If you want to try and figure out who it was, Tim.
No, you're gonna tell me. You're 100% gonna tell me.
I'm not telling you
yeah,
shit.
you're gonna tell me. Off stream, you're gonna tell me.
All right, boys, I'm gonna drop out of here. It was just kind of
yeah. You don't belong here anyway.
Winners stories and shit. I'm sorry, Winners. I didn't.
Good to hear from you. It's fine.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, we should catch up sometime, man.
I can't believe I was that important to you, man. That you fucking put a spy in my guy.
Well, no,
I
mean,
that's great.
Okay, all right. Don't let it get to your head, Tim.
I know
it was
nothing
literally
ever gets to my head.
We knew that you were the strongest of Man-Up's allies, and that you were going to be going anywhere that they were going. If it was a fight that was like of substance.
So what was the point of following us though? You were really trying to get us off of the Man-Up thing. You were trying to get my guild to kill me. Like, oh,
yeah,
we can't
it
deal
was
with
to
this.
try to deter you from being a part of it.
Were you ever gonna follow me to like Balanos or Serendia if I ended up doing that, or send people against me?
No, dude. Like, there's this whole like idea that we were like trying to be like pieces of shit about it, man. It's like we genuinely, when we were fighting Calpheon, we just didn't want it to escalate, didn't want it to be huge, wanted it to be like pretty fair, even fights. When it came to Man Up, we were a lot more ruthless about it. Like, we didn't care about the quality of the content. But like with you guys, man, like that whole thing, like it was just a show of force. It was to be like, look, we can do this if we want to. And we did it a couple of times, and then we stopped. And then we just used that account for information gathering. But it's like
it had to have been hard because we played that base placement game thing pretty hard. Like we would build a fort within an hour or two, right? You didn't get a whole lot of information.
This was the big thing,
it, right?
No, we did. This is the thing, is that it was very easy for us because we weren't trying to scheme about it. We were trying to fight. So it's like, if we calculate that we think that the most probable and the most reasonable thing for Man Up to do is to go to Serendia on a given weekend, then it's like, all right, well, we can't really risk giving up either castle because we have all these guilds that, they need some time. So we let them go do their thing, right? If we think they're going to one of the castle regions, that's when it's like, all right, well, this is where they're probably going to go. This is where we're committing. So we would know, and we would have everything ready to go like days in advance. So it wasn't like we were, it always got hectic when it came down to plant time. But, because, obviously there's information coming in like fucking crazy. But
yeah, I feel like we were always careful not to just like place on a Wednesday and be like, this is where we're going. We'd always rip that shit up and move it around. We were never really concerned about a spy, and maybe it's because you didn't abuse it, right? You weren't like following us on nodes. Like the nodes you followed us on were like Mondays tier 3 that Snake wasn't on. It wasn't like a. And people would be like, we have a spy, and I'm like, we don't have a spy. It like, if we have a spy, it honestly doesn't matter.
I had a really funny video, dude, after when you guys did that whole thing with Man Up, where you guys were like practicing, trying to see how the glitch worked, where people get stuck in the towers.
Oh,
Like I had that whole thing recorded. Yeah, you were. Oh no, you weren't. It was someone else on your account. Yeah, I had the whole thing recorded where it was like people were sitting there like at one point someone was like, defense team, I need you guys to like know exactly how to do this and replicate it.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't necessarily because you guys wanted to actually use it.
No, we were trying to defend against it.
Yeah, but it was like, if we wanted to, we could have made like a really, really bad looking like PR video.
The whole thing about that was we
just
were
cut it all up.
Well, I mean, everybody was doing it. I would literally, if I saw people in there, when I saw people in there,
no, hang on. This is actually so funny, dude. I had one clip of you, like your character model was standing there like looking straight at the tower, like pretty close to it, and I like went into spectate mode and I zoomed in on your face and then turned around and there were like 9 aftershocks standing at the tower, like, you know, shoulder charging into it, trying to figure out how to get inside it.
Okay.
It was like totally innocent in nature, what you guys were actually doing, but it was like we had the gun cocked, dude. Like if shit got like super out of hand and like things got scummy, like we were willing to stoop sort of low.
Outside of the fucking Man Up
like,
sponsored podcast, I don't think it really got scummy.
No, well,
we knew our spot, right? Like we weren't trying to. We were honestly just trying to get PvP. What I wanted to find out from that, and that was like a Friday night or something, because I wasn't there. But what we wanted to know was like, how does this shit happen? Because it looks super easy. We don't really think Vertex and Cho are trying to do this on purpose.
No one actually.
Right. And there was a couple of shitlords that go in there and be like, fuck you, I'm gonna do this by myself. We didn't think that was honestly a Vertex sponsored thing. It was probably, you know, Cho Nation is a meme guild. There's a lot of shitlords in there. So to see 2, 3, 4, 5 people from Cho Nation doing it, not surprised, right? It's fine. And I'm sure they got come down on
that many, dude.
3,
I'm pretty sure
2,
there was like
whatever.
1 or 2.
Pick a number. It doesn't matter. Fit one hand.
I mean, the point is, dude. Like there was a period of like 2 months where every fucking node war that would happen to somebody, and it was always some fucking little retard in the guild that doesn't have any idea what's going on and is just like, oh, look, I'm inside the tower. No one can hit me. I'm going to get tower damage.
Yeah, we made an announcement.
And they don't say anything. And, you know, like people, you get a message randomly and it's like, well, yeah, but you guys didn't really.
Oh, no, we made announcements. I made announcements about that almost before every single war. If I see you in that fucking node, you get kicked. Because I was not going to be accused of that.
Yeah, I mean, we said the same things. The only person who ever did it was fucking Phoenix, man. No, we did. We told our guys. Yeah, Phoenix. It was when we hit Snake on O's with Art, and Phoenix got stuck in the tower. He started chopping it and spamming hi Reddit or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like it was just a meme, dude. Like Snake was gonna lose the war anyways, and they got super mad. And then it was like a big thing where they were like, "Oh, we lost because of this," and it's like, "Yeah, you guys are gonna lose anyways." He was just trying to be a shithead, and he like clearly succeeded.
The Man Up time. You know, when you were spying on us, it was an interesting time because it was the guild was pretty divided about it, to be honest. I was on the forefront of this because I love to stick my nose where it doesn't belong, right? I think I've got enough of a tenure to be able to say that confidently, and it works out for us most of the time. And I thought we were on the winning side. What I didn't expect to happen was, you know, Adam quitting like a bitch, and then Man Up thinking that Hybrid was this great stable guild that they should hand Valencio for 2.
Dude, do you know why Hybrid went?
Why
Dude, they were bound to die when they showed up, man. Oh. They went because Wish Fairy fucking hates me. That guy despises me. And the reason he does, the reason he does is because when we were fighting and we were looking for allies, like I would talk to Kyokai regularly. Every fucking time that you message that guy, it's like, I'll be like, hey, you have plans for this weekend? And he just goes, I need a castle. That's it. That's all he says. I need the region. He doesn't even know what I'm willing to offer him. No.
Really?
I didn't talk to him that much, no.
Yeah.
But he would be like, we need the region. And I'd just be like, well, you're not even going to listen to what I have to say. And you'd just be like, no, but my guild, you know, we're in a bad spot. We need the region. So when he found out, like when there were whispers, we were going to Valencia. It was before Hybrid. I think it was Super Bastion week, and or maybe the one before that. And he was like, he messaged me, and he was like, "Hey, so what's going on in Calpheon?" And I was like, basically, I told him, "Don't go to Calpheon. That's our territory right now. We need it. Like, don't fuck with it." And he was like, "But I'm gonna do what I want to do." And this was in voice comms. And I told him I was going to fuck his guild's corpse into the ground until no, what was it? I'm gonna fuck your guild to death and put it in the ground if you go anywhere near that region.
Wow.
And he instantly blocked me on Discord.
That's toxic.
Wouldn't respond to anything. And now it's like I'll see him around. Well, dude, it's a meme. Like at the time, it was literally like I had all these moving pieces that I had to put together and get places. And like this dude comes at me and he's like, "But I kind of think I want to do it." And it's like I don't have time for that shit, dude. And like,
you want to guess on why
so
Hybrid died? You want to?
Well,
do you know how?
I would imagine it's because Wish Fairy wanted to be involved in all that shit, and a lot of the guilty guys didn't. That's what my 2 cents on it was.
He paid money to disband it to get out of that because he wanted to lead his thing so bad. Paid real money to do it.
You have any proof of that?
Yeah, I got screenshots. I don't have screenshots of the dollar amount, but I know the dollar amount. Yeah, that's why
that's pretty heavy shit, man.
Yep. I've accused him a long time of paying
that guy's a rat.
All that shit. Hey, fake uniform, get off my fucking stream. Jesus Christ. This fucking exclamation point guild shit is the most fucking toxic shit ever.
What?
Yeah, there's the yikes. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's how that ended up. So that was the demise of the Man Up Alliance. Really was Adam deciding that he wants to still lead Hikikomori, but only do payouts and renew contracts, and then Wish Fairy wanting to get out and having to pay money for it. So that's why we lost. That's 100% why we lost,
dude.
It would have been weeks of really good fighting, right?
Yeah, but it's like at that point, man, it's like it reaches a point where it's like with what happened between Vertex and Cho and Calpheon, all right? Like it reached a boiling point where there were too many people involved, and it's no longer something that's in the realm of politics. It's like a legit fight.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking fight, dude. You bring what you can and you punch as hard as you can. Right? Because it's like if you don't do that, they're gonna get the upper hand on you. And it was the same, dude. We obviously knew going east, like both of those guilds, especially in the state we were in before, because we've come, very far from when that whole thing started. Like back then, it's like, dude, if you missed your punch, it's very bad news, right? And I think we only had one. We had one major fuck up where we were supposed to have Cho and Vincier in. It was the 2 weeks for Vertex right at the start, and we were supposed to have Cho and Vincier because no one was supposed to know that we were getting the second week, so everyone would have assumed that we were going to have the two others there. We were trying to determine if they should go to Cal or not. We had all of the smaller allies on Cal. And in the fray of getting all the information in, I didn't realize it, but we had Showdown in Cal, and then somehow we got it across to them to rip their tower and put their placeholder in Valencia. And it turned out Cho and Vincier were both in Valencia with their placeholders. So it's like I'm still sitting there trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and then it ticks over, and it's like, well, all three of the big guilds are still in Valencia.
Yeah.
And all of the little guys are in Cal. And that was like, dude, I felt like shit that night, man. That was bad for me. I was like pretty upset about it, dude.
Yeah, you put it all on the line doing this politics stuff. I know
that
for sure.
Well, it's if
something goes right, it's like, oh, good, I'm in I'm in Aftershock, I'm in Vertex. It's like, oh, everything went according to plan. The fucking second, somebody like you or I fucks up, it's like, what the fuck? Why did this happen? We deserve it. We should have been here. Why did you do this? Like holy fuck, we're human. Like Jesus.
Pax just said in the chat, it's like he doesn't mind. I don't think a lot of people really cared but it was more like you don't want to do that. Like, you don't want to send people to a meat grinder.
Sure.
Right. That's why we didn't want to, like, that's why we always wanted to have stronger guilds in Valencia. Because it's like, if Man Up brings their smaller allies to Valencia and show Vincere or Vertex is in the castle, those smaller guilds can't push that castle.
Right.
Right. They'll get farmed on the gate by 30 people. But if you put, I guess probably Notorious could have held it. And there was a period where I know Notorious probably could have, but it's like the point was, you kept the bigger three inside the castle. You had everyone else that was there, for backup outside, and that made everything pivotal, right? And then you look in Calpheon, and it's like Man Up is just trying to get any of their allies into the region to pay them off. So, like, there was a lot more leeway when we would go there to fight, regardless of who was in the castle at a given time,
So how'd the Vertex Alliance go? Like, in the early days, was everybody pretty cooperative? They understood that there was a plan, a rotation, all that kind of stuff. You have a lot of like guilds going, when's my turn? Why are they first?
Saying in chat, Notorious versus Man Up. I don't think any of the guilds in our alliance could have held against Man Up. I'm not making that claim. I'm saying if Man Up came to Valencia, you would have to put pressure on the gate. Man Up would have to be fighting the people out on the field. And if they threw their smaller allies at the gate, the three bigger guilds plus Notorious could have defended from the smaller allies. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So I'm gonna spill Man Up's hand here in a minute, but I want you to answer that question first about how the alliance was in the early days with
how it was.
Yeah, was the rotation clear? Who was going to get paid when, where, how, and all that stuff. Was there a lot of like,
it was the rotation.
Why are they
the
going
rotation
before me? Kind of thing.
It got that way after a period, like after
before Man Up died or after?
Before.
Okay.
And that was when shit got stressful for me, man. But the first couple of weeks, man, the first like maybe 4 or 5 weeks of it, it was very clean. Like there was no drama. People were just kind of doing their thing. Like everyone knew what was going on. People all were really invigorated and ready for the fights, and they were all down for it. And then like halfway through it, because people went into that with their own ties, right? That's one of the things that made it so strong.
Right.
Is like we had our guilds that we were friendly with, and then BR merged in with Hexus for Vincere, and they had a couple of guilds they were friendly with, and Cho had their smaller allies. So the combination of those three guilds is what made it so big and so well coordinated, because there are a bunch of people who have all worked together before that are ready to go, and like there wasn't much dissonance between any of us. Like I would say the BR half of Vincere didn't like Cho, and I don't think that stopped them from
Vincere. It's Vincere.
Yeah. I don't think that stopped them from working with each other, but I do think that it put a little tension on the Vincere merge.
So okay, so when did the tension start? When was the bitching coming up in the alliance? When did that start?
See, this is when we're getting into troublesome territory now, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna show my hand too. But if you want to see mine,
now is when I'm gonna get in trouble, dude.
Dude, it's ancient history. Who fucking cares?
I know, but
you personally killed it with your Discord message.
But people always take things out of. I shouldn't say out of context, but they always like. I don't have anything but good feelings towards the people that I worked in that alliance with. I really don't, man. I like those people, man. I'm glad that I worked
Sasha are real tight. I
really mean that.
Okay, keep going.
But it's like halfway through it, it turns into, Hexus owed Velocity a week in a region before it all started. So when we get through the first rotation, and Velocity gets into Calpheon, they come to me and they're like, oh, well, we want the castle for another week. And that, there's all this other shit going on at the same time. And it's kind of like, okay, well, how do we deal with this? Like, how do we keep this going? So it's like, all right, well, we owe affect because Cho owed affect before we started the
Jesus
alliance. So now we need to get affect into Calpheon. Velocity is basically saying they're going to drop from it if they don't get another week. How do we deal with this?
Oh my god. Velocity played that hand, really? They wanted 2 weeks of Calpheon?
Tim, we're not here for you to judge people. This is a story. Let them be. So looking at it,
brave.
It's like,
I'm happy for him. That's they played.
Well,
their
I mean,
hand. Yeah, that's good.
They were of the like Notorious was always like a strange tier within the alliance where it's like they were never quite at like Vertex, Jove, and Seer, but they were always like the stepping stone, man. I love Notorious, dude.
Okay.
But I don't mean that to be insulting at all. I really
don't.
So
good luck with that.
I don't think that should seem insulting. But it's like
you think Velocity was you think Notorious was a stepping stone
I was
to
Velocity? No, that's not what I said. I think Notorious was the stepping stone between our smaller allies and like the big three.
Okay.
So it was like of the smaller allies, Velocity was the strongest for a pretty good time.
Yeah. Agreed.
So it's like when it came down to it, dude, this was actually such a shit show thinking back on it. So Velocity wanted 2 weeks, Affect needed a week. So we got Affect their week, and then we told Velocity, all right, we'll get you Valencia. Now, when Man Up had gone to, when we got built out of Valencia, we sent everyone everywhere. We just tried to get a region, for everybody.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to continue the fight in Valencia. So we got Velocity out of Calpheon. And in order to continue the fight in Valencia, we had to get Velocity into Valencia so that they could get their second castle week because we needed them to be there for the strength of the guild. And at the same time, we needed Notorious to be there.
In Valencia.
Yeah, if we wanted to do it without, because we had 3 allies and regions going into
castle in Valencia this week.
That was the week that Hybrid had it when we got built out.
Okay.
So we're sitting there and it's like, all right, how do we continue this?
But I mean, Hybrid was dead 3 days into it. Like,
well, they weren't like officially.
Yeah.
It was it was just a rumor for us. We didn't have any solid confirmation that they were actually like dead.
So your spy was outside of my game.
I mean, weren't really paying attention, I guess. I don't know.
Shitting all over Hybrid like the second we got that information.
Well, yeah, but you shit all over everybody, man.
That's bullshit.
You run your mouth all day, dude. Like,
okay.
So we were sitting there. It's like we got to get Notorious. We have to. Everybody needs to be able to go to Valencia for the following week if we want to continue it. Everybody needs to be able to go.
So you guys really felt like you were on the back foot the week that Hybrid took Valencia?
There were times, yeah. Because that was when, if I remember correctly, that's when Vincier broke apart as well.
Yeah, it was. That's right. That
correctly.
was a weak point for you guys.
So it's like,
yeah,
dude, that was such a shit show too, man. It was like Vincier, like, oh man, those are tough times. So it's like we're sitting there. It's like we don't have Vincier. Both of those guilds are reeling. They're trying to figure out what they can do. Hexus is saying they want to come. BR is saying they need time to rebuild. We need to get all of our allies in the region. Man Up's going to be there. They want to get themselves in the castle. And we need, Cho, Vertex, all the smaller allies we can get. So we have to juggle getting Velocity a week on Valencia, getting Notorious a week on Valencia, because they had opted to not take one of the smaller regions the week before. On my request, I had asked Pax if he was okay with waiting a little longer for a better
also after
region.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean that's far in the future. So it's like then the following week comes, and everything like when it comes down to it, it's like, okay, who's getting this region tonight? Oh, I think BR was there actually.
So Pax just put in the chat that he says if Man Up had placed with all Hybrid on the castle, we could easily have lost. So with hybrid being dead and 20 or 30 people, you really think if the Man Up Alliance fully planted on Valencia, we could have held off what was had on that week?
Dude, you so underestimate the power gap between like Vertex and Man Up.
Oh, I
and
didn't.
Like Show and Man
No.
Up.
I'll tell you this story.
So many people did.
Yeah, no,
so many people did. And it's like once Renown came out and it turned into like the better PA rotation wins a trade, that's when we started winning in long, extended engages against Man Up. But it's like leading up to that, dude, it was, if we got a large chunk of blue on our kill feed fighting Man Up, it was purely outplay. Purely. It had absolutely nothing to do with gear being anywhere near equal in that sense.
Man, I'm sorry. Hybrid had no leadership that week. They were cut as dead. They actually told us they were not going to show up on Valencia. That's
if I, you know what, now that I think about it, if I remember correctly, it actually was, I think I got that like on Thursday or Friday, and everything was already in place.
It was Tuesday, Wednesday that we were memory, whatever that is. It was Tuesday or Wednesday that like we knew, and I wasn't, obviously I was in Man Up's Discord hanging out with everybody. That's where I got to know Mac and Vert and all the boys and stuff like that, and Carl and all those guys. I'd fight with them and hang out with them, but I certainly wasn't in the inner circle or anything like that. So I'd find out information from the Alliance by hanging out in their Discord sometimes, which was kind of fucked up, but that's fine. But that was a Tuesday, Wednesday thing, and we just the decision was to just completely abandon our footholding on Valencia, because it was like threatened down to us that they have no desire to work with us, and they'd probably even work for the other side if we went there for whatever fucking reason. That's what I heard. I'm not saying that they were doing any shady shit or anything like that, but that's the big reason that we didn't go Valencia, was what we had heard and been told, and nobody could get a hold of Reapful. I don't know if Reapful's in chat, but
dude, Reap never responded to me either, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to try to talk to like Hybrid, and like I said, Wish Fairy was all butthurt, so he wouldn't respond to me. So I would always go through like Woohoo or Moses or like someone I knew that was there, and I would be like, "Well, can you ask Reap?" Because if I messaged Reap, it would be like a one-word response that didn't actually answer the question, and it would always turn into, "Well, talk to Wish Fairy," and I'd be like, "He has me fucking blocked, dude. Like, this is not good politics, man. You can't do Diplo and fucking ignore people because they were mean.
Wish Fairy's never blocked me. I can't. I'm jealous, man. He's still to this day has never blocked me. I'm impressed.
It's because you're reformed, dude. He believes in you.
Okay. All right. I gotta take one more quick break. My back's killing me. Just give me one more minute.
Dude, I'll have fun playing with Huntler in chat.
Okay. Yeah. Tickle that Huntler.
All right, let's read what Huntler has to say. Vertex literally never 1v1 Man Up that entire period. You sure it was outplay or not just Man Up running out of PAs when we had to 3v, 4v1, etc.? Let's see. Vertex did 1v1 you on the node, almost stalemated. That is true. Forgetting their ally, we had to dunk first. You had an ally for that node, Huntler. Dude, Huntler, please don't start this, man. Like, you're very poorly informed on the whole... Dude... You're very poorly informed on the whole thing. Like, I know in hindsight, it feels like this is reminiscing. But the fact of the matter is you did have an ally for that fight. It was a 2v2. I'll message it to you on there. Hang on. Let's see if where's this? Do I have this saved? So on my desktop.
So I have 3 herniated discs in my back, and so I've got this thing that I've been doing the past, I don't know, it's been about 3 or 4 months now, where like every hour I just spend 1 minute to just touch my toes,
stretch and walk around.
Yeah, just it really helps. So it sucks for something like this. You know, it's pretty easy during a normal stream, but podcast, it's like, oh, well, I got to stop this whole thing. But my back health is more important. So
no, it's fine.
Let me talk about the man up side of this whole thing, right? And there's an exclamation point that everybody should start typing, exclamation point ego, because this is going to come off like that. I came in and it was Lyerley was already kind of pulling back, and he was super not interested in this. He was in the beginning, and then as soon as the fight started, I felt like he was really kind of pulling back a little bit, and we started dealing more with the gravity guys, you know, the torment, specifically tormented. And so, you know, I come in and I was like, you know, I disbanded the Trap Alliance. I was like, I'm done with Hickey. And everybody read that as Aftershock's done with Siege. Oh my god. And I'm like, no, motherfuckers, I just don't want to build with Hickey. I'm done with that shit. And so literally 10 minutes later, Lyerley says dibs. And I'm like, what do you mean dibs? He's like, you guys are up for Merc? We're in, right? So that's how that started. And then 2 weeks later, Adam's like, oh, can Hickey get in on this? We want Calpheon so bad. And so when that happened, I messaged Torment, and I was like, oh, so Hikikomori, by the way, has been like a really shitty ally, and that's the whole reason I disbanded and went to a Merc Siege Guild, because I want nothing to do with that. And I don't need to go in detail, but whatever they do is on them and has no reflection upon me, because I'm just in for fights. I want Valencia, that's it. Okay, fine. So they get Calpheon. They weasel their way to get Calpheon first, or whatever that fucking deal was. And then we have this big meeting, right? And this was kind of the first moment of discord between the entire alliance. Was Man Up takes Calpheon again, and they're, you know, we're gonna take this territory. We've been off territory for a couple weeks. We can't really decide who's supposed to get it next. By the way, Aftershock was supposed to get it next, but there was so much fighting. You know, Adam was making such a big fucking deal about, for some reason, he thought that Hikikomori deserved Calpheon for a second week. And I'm like, well, oh, if they do that, then I'm just going back to Pelanos, and y'all can just fuck right off. I just do not care if you really want to give them Calpheon for 2 weeks. And so he goes, okay, well, here's a solution. Man Up takes it. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Whatever. I can deal with that. You know, politically, I can handle that. You guys want payouts, we can do the whole payout thing, you know, all that stuff. So Hikikomori starts axing down Man Up when they're defending Calpheon, and they're supposed to 100%. I was in the meeting. It was very clear. Man Up is taking it. That's how we solve this problem. And the postmortem after was Adam going, I never heard that. Nobody ever said this. And all that bullshit. 4 days later, they're pushing in on us on GVG with Cho, while they're allied up and all this kind of stuff. It was just, that was the beginning of the end. And so then I catch wind that the first rotation of Valencia was not me, but Hybrid. I said, okay, so Guilty hates me. Guilty personally, like, hates me. When I worked with Guilty, they hated me, they hated Hikikomori. They would just go after specifically me. And then they're mixed in with Wish Fairy and crew, which I've been fighting for the past 1.5 years. What the fuck do you think's going to happen with Hybrid? You really think this is a long-term thing? You really think this is a long-term solution? You want to put them on Castle first when they've done nothing for your alliance, when they've done nothing for your alliance, and you're going to shit on Aftershock, who builds on nodes with you, when everybody else is too fucking busy, or Hikikomori's too concerned about if they get a second node this week? You're going to put them on first. Torment. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. Great. Let's see how this works out. You know, on Tuesday or Wednesday, the entire guild's blown up, and Wish Fairy's paying to break the guild up, or whatever the fuck he did. So that's why we lost. Is those two fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's pretty unlucky, man.
I
mean,
it
it was
doesn't
one
even
of
feel
those.
unlucky when I'm telling the fucking people this is exactly what's going to happen, and then that's exactly what fucking happens. And it's not that I'm upset that I didn't get Valencia. I'm upset that this could have been so much more content. We could have had these really great fights, and it was back and forth, and Vincere broke up, and we had our losses and all that stuff. We could have had so much better fights over this, and all these other smaller guilds could have come in on Balanos and Serendia, but these fucking idiots had to fucking ruin the whole thing and be pieces of shit. And it's just it's such a disgrace. It really is. If Torment had fucking listened to my entire, we pulled Torment into, Larry was supposed to be there, but he already checked out. Torment was supposed to be in my guild Discord so we could tell him that hybrid was not the right choice. And Lyerley dodged it, and Torment went, I don't have the power. Like this, it's already been done. Dude,
I was super hyped for hybrid, man. I thought hybrid was gonna be like the new big thing.
Yeah,
dude.
So did they. But guess
like
what?
the guild. Well, no, I mean that is in like the game needs more guilds. Like I thought they were gonna be a big powerhouse that was gonna be going around like doing their own thing. Like that's what they always said. And then like 1 week we get built out of Valencia and hybrid takes it, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, so you guys lied through your teeth to me for like a month leading up to this.
Yeah, they played both sides. That was the other part of it too. We knew that. I knew that, whether he chose to accept it or not. They had this leverage of Bastion that Torment just fucking loved. They're gonna bring Bastion. That's really gonna tip it over. Yeah, really. That's worth it,
dude.
Nobody even builds with it. Nobody builds with them on nodes. We were the only people that build with them on nodes, except for that one Tuesday. That one Tuesday. That was it. This whole fucking man up thing was a garbage shit show. It was led horribly. It was just led horribly. It was just, this is gonna happen. No, it's not. Then it happens. Okay, let's see how many more times we have to go through this. But you know, to their defense, hybrid was, we had no other choice. If hybrid didn't come through, and that's the thing, they should have strung hybrid out for 2 weeks. If they strung hybrid out for 2 weeks, we probably could have kept it going a little bit longer, because that was your weak point when hybrid held that. If Aftershock held Valencia,
the reason I would say it was a weak point was because Vincere just broken up. It didn't mean that we didn't have the force to fight against Man Up, but the force was split because we had the opportunity to take 3 regions and feed 3 allies, which would put us very far ahead and give us a lot of leeway with what we were capable of doing.
If Aftershock,
like placing people.
Aftershock has always been a strong guild. We have weak points, we have strong points, but we're always competitive. We're always there. If we were in the castle and hybrid had to hold it together for 2 weeks instead of 1 or 3 days, this would be a completely different arc. And I literally brought Torment into my Discord to tell him he is fucking up. This is stupid. Lyerley needs to hear this. You are getting played. This is dumb. Bastion's not going to do shit.
Right, but it would be a different arc, but it doesn't change the... I mean, it still persists that was a mistake. That was an error. That was not a forced error. It was an error. That's something that goes down as a check in the box. Man Up fucked up doing this.
Right, so I don't know if the outcome would have been much different, but it at least would have been more competitive for much longer, because we basically had to suffer. That was the end. That was 100% the end. What did Man Up die 2 weeks later? Like, that was it. And so we're the strongest Man Up ally.
Yeah, dude. Do you know what we totally skipped out on?
What?
I wish I actually had someone from Cho and Vincere to corroborate this, because I don't remember the specifics. But Man Up offered us all 3 of the guilds. They offered a different deal to like turn on the other ones before we actually hit Valencia. That was pretty funny. And this was actually, ironically, dude, it's actually such a meme that people think Lyerley was so good at this shit. It's actually so funny. He sent out a message to all 3 of the big guilds trying to get us to turn on each other. We had all already been talking to each other. So he was telling people like, oh, well, these guys said they're going to do this, so watch your back. You know, we'll help you out. And then we're literally in a chat with them, and they're just like, Lyerley just said this, and we're like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And then like he offered the deal he made with us is that if we didn't help Cho and Vincier, if we didn't plant, that they would drop out of their castle and they would go and fight them and deal with them. We could hold Calpheon, and at the end of all of it, they would go and push Snake and kill Snake with us. They offered it to us again. And that was the fuel that I had. That was like the ammo that I had to keep Snake totally uninvolved.
Yeah.
That whole thing, it goes back to Snake and Man Up had a deal. They had a bargain to help each other keep their regions. And Snake, after finding out that Man Up had given us this offer, regardless of whether it held any weight, we're sick of their shit. At least from my understanding. I actually don't talk to B-Kill, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But my understanding from the Snake perspective is after hearing that, they were like, well, fuck this shit, dude. You know, we won't help either side. We'll stay out of it, you know?
Yeah, that was after Hybrid, you know, fell out. I sent Larry a message. I'm like, we have to hit Snake. We have to, or else you guys.
Dude, we would have. Do you want to know the other funny thing? Is Cho, Vincier, and like 3 of the smaller guilds in the alliance would have dropped out of it if Man Up had hit Snake. that was actually
it would have saved it. It actually was the right call.
Yeah, it actually was something that they had told us at the start of it. Cho specifically, I remember, told us that if Man Up hit Snake, they would not hit Man Up again. They would go and do their own thing. But the fact that Man Up wouldn't fight Snake was one of the reasons why they were so down for it.
I told them for 2 weeks straight. That was the answer. We have to hit
How good
Snake.
of a meme is it, dude? How funny is that shit?
If we don't, we're dead. If we don't, we're dead. If we do, it at least creates up. Oh my fucking god! If I had led that alliance,
it wasn't a good tactical position for them because they didn't know that was the case. There was no way for them to know that.
They did nothing instead. The literal other option was just break up the fucking guild. Just give up. Just give up. Holy shit, that triggers the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, man. I don't know why they would... Like, Snake was there, dude. Like, I know for a fact, because it was a big meme back then, too. Like, oh, yeah, Snake had a tower down in El Sneco. Haha, yeah, right. Haha. They had it down, and they were ready to finish it, and they were going to flood Sneco, and we actually had Barcode on Media the first week. Barcode was on Media with 2 other small guilds, waiting to finish their builds if Snake committed to going to Valencia. And then we didn't think Snake was going, and there was no way to really tell, so it was kind of cold feet, and then Barcode pulled off. But we had them ready. Like, we had a backup plan. If Snake had pulled, like, if Snake had pulled the trigger and started joining El Sneco Guild, they would have lost their castle that first week.
This is a lot of information.
Yeah, man. Dude, it was a lot of... Dude, people... It's fun, dude. Doing the Diplo shit is fun. It's a big chess game. It's really fun, man.
Yeah.
I hate it, but it's fun. Because it's way too time consuming. It's super cancerous. It's really frustrating, but there's a big reward at the end of it.
I knew that shit. I knew hitting Medea was the answer. I knew it. Well, that just builds my ego even more, so thank you. Exclamation point ego. Okay, so let's oh my god! I'm so fucking upset!
Don't let it get on your skin, man. It's alright.
You know, the worst thing in this world, man, the worst thing in this world is being right. It really is. Especially when you can't do anything about it. You're just like, hey, this is what you should do. Okay, great. Thanks, Tim, J-Train, Eric, whatever you want to call me. And then that doesn't happen. It's the fucking story of my life. I get these opportunities to really like, hey, this is, oh, Jesus, I'm actually fucking tilted about this.
Trying to think if there's any other good like meme-worthy shit that happened towards the beginning, because they were like, Man Up wanted to retain that castle, dude. As much as they try to say they didn't,
No,
like,
that's 100% true.
those-
I know that.
yeah, those PR wars from the beginning of that, dude, like, we've tried to be as honest as possible, man. Like, we've legitimately tried to, like, not stain our reputation. Like, we haven't lied to people about shit. We haven't tried to deceive anybody. We haven't tried to do anything, like, selfish or greedy.
Well, nobody expected you to do the whole alliance thing, right? Because that was your ethos from the beginning. And maybe that's just, you know, for me being from Orwin and knowing what Vertex was about and those early tier 2s and stuff. That's why I gave you guys such a hard time, because I remembered, right? But ultimately, it was fair. It was fun. It was good PvP. That's
when we were going through the Calpheon shit, man, every single day, like, those guilds, man, like, people disregard smaller guilds when you're coming from a siege standpoint. Like, you'll gladly talk shit to...
I mean, it was just Renown. Before Renown, you know, those guilds make a difference.
Like, you'll gladly talk shit about a guild like Rage, right? Now, Scotty's is a fucking dick to me all the time. I'll give him credit for it. He loves the fact that he's an asshole to me. But that guild is, like, they're the shining example of, like, what a regular BDO guild should be. Super chill, somewhat casual. They don't have super high, crazy, grueling expectations of their members. They just want to be a part of things. They just want to PvP and have fun. That's all they want. And when they get Gravity showing up on their node fucking bullying them 2 times a week, I feel inclined to do something about it because I'm in a position to do some shit about it.
Yeah. So let's move to the end of the Vertex Alliance, as it may be.
The end of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically the Sasha era.
Oh, dude, we're jumping.
Yeah.
Did that tilt you that bad, man? You just want to be done with it, dude?
No, we can talk about more. What's more to say?
I don't care, man. We can talk about whatever.
The Alliance made some obviously terrible decisions, and then Man Up died, and we went back to Melanos Serendia.
I'm just
you guys
time,
rotated territories. Well, that had to have been a pretty easy time, right?
Yeah, the end of the Alliance was, I mean, it's this, we're talking like a couple of weeks ago, man, and this is where I can get into real trouble because, like, I know, like, I don't want to seem like I'm talking shit about anybody because I really don't have bad things to say about any of the guilds that we worked with. But there are certain things that it's like, this is what happened, right? So it's like, I talked to, you know, Sasha and BR about, like, recently about why things were so tense between us over the last couple of weeks. And it's like that announcement that I made where I said the 2 weeks that they were given, like, the regular members in their guild interpreted that as us saying, well, I mean, honestly, I kind of have a trouble, like, wrapping my head around it, but it's like, because they fought Vexus when they went there to take it, they didn't want it to be portrayed as being given to them because they did win a fight and took it. And then it's like, on the flip side of it, the Alliance was still going.
Well, let's be honest about this for a second, right? So this is a big meme, right? This goes back to one of my clips where it's like, when are you going to stop riding Man Up stick for territories?
Okay.
When the way alliances work is you work together and then you get paid, right? And so you may not win here personally as your own guild, but if you work as a group and you get these objectives, then you're allocated these things. It's not that Black Rose is weak or they were allowed to or had to ask permission or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be patronizing.
Oh, Mr. Lyreley in Torment, may I please have another? It was like, this is, look, we're ready for a territory. It's time to pay us. We put in all this work. Fuck these guys. It's our turn, right? And that's how it works in alliances. You aren't fucking sucking somebody off to get a territory. You're all working together and you're splitting the spoils of war. And so that fucking, riding dick for shit is just, it's really stupid stale memes that tilts nobody that's involved. But I guess Black Rose, Sasha, some of the members.
I don't think Sasha misinterpreted it.
He was on his podcast. He was a little. I think he might have taken that the wrong way, but
I don't know. But I've talked to him since, and it's not really a big deal. But it's like the reason that it was worded that way is because it's like we were still as an alliance in control of that region.
Right.
So it's like, you know,
You have to
BR
ration it
asked,
out.
they said we want to fight for it. So it's like, all right, cool, fight for it. You know, like they knew that there were high stakes going into it, but the reason it was worded that way is it's like they were still a part of the alliance at that time, right? So it's like we're sitting there, and if they had dropped out the week before and then been like, we're going to 1v1 Vexes, there's a decent chance that we probably would have dropped an ally to make sure that that got transferred to someone who was still active and trying to work with the alliance, you know?
So what about they dropped against Vexus, and that's when they took it.
Yeah.
They were supposed to, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the week after that,
but they did going into it. If Vexus had held the territory, they would have kept it. They didn't want to be given it if they lost the fight.
okay. And then the week after that, nobody really, some guild I don't even remember dropped there. Like they were supposed to get 2 weeks of it, and then Cho showed up.
Well, that was the thing. They were the second week. It was like Sasha was out of town. He was like, "Hey man, could you we don't want to give it up. Like we're trying to build up, and I'm out of town, and like we don't want to deal with node wars or whatever the discussion was." So we were like, "All right, fuck it," because we were still busy in Media because it's like we had always planned to hit Snake once at the end of the alliance, and the only reason that we stutter stepped. Because I had told Pax all the way back when the first week that he came to Calpheon, I would get him on Medea. That was the ultimate end goal with our relationship with Notorious.
That's so
they
funny.
wanted a week in
Medea,
Medea,
and I go to Man Up for Valencia, so we could both finish out our own things. Cheers to Pax, by the way, for being the victor on that.
So that was like the end goal. It was like the last thing that we had to achieve, or that I felt like I had to achieve, was making sure that Notorious got Medea.
Good for you.
So when we went to Medea the first week, we wanted to fight we wanted to fight Snake, put Notorious on the region, and then fuck off, and we were just going to end the alliance, right? And then there was that big influx of Man Up players, and no one knew how many actually went, right? So like we all saw like Huntler and Vert and Zethian and all the other big Man Up guys went to Snake, and we're like, all right, well fuck dude, if Snake is just going to be the new Man Up, then nothing has changed, you know? So we go into it and we second guess cutting the alliance off and like ending it. And so we were like, all right, well, if we're going to start this anew, we're going to take the first week, then we'll rotate Notorious in, and then we started a new rotation for Medea. And then BR was like, fuck it, we're out of the alliance. And then we were like, all right, well, if that's the case, we're just going to call it anyways. So it was like BR was in some semblance a catalyst for the alliance ending, but it was on its way out anyways. Like we intended originally to end it the week before BR actually dropped out. And we just stutter stepped because we were like, well, fuck.
Yeah, sure.
Snake's got a lot of brand new 270 plus AP players. Question mark.
Yeah, I think we all thought that, right? So let's talk about Cho. So what Udani was, so Vertex was very interested in my podcast after Sasha was here. So we had Kinjara, Udani, and Sav. Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be toxic. And we were all talking about it and stuff, and we were going through the whole thing. But so what was communicated to me before the podcast and during the podcast was Black Rose told Vertex, we're going to fight for a third week. And Vertex never really put that on Cho. They didn't communicate that to them. Thus
Wait, say again?
Cho's,
the Cho thing with the miscommunication?
Yeah, was that really a miscommunication? Or is that intentional, just like we're stepping back and we don't care?
I got told, well, I mean, dude, like Man Up was dead, and my role in the alliance was largely diminished. Like I just didn't really do much at that point. It was just kind of like, all right, well, what do we want to do this week? okay, well, I guess we'll do that. So I got a message from Salt Dog, who's the second in command in BR, on I think Thursday of the week leading up to it, and he was like, "Oh well, we're probably going to be leaving the alliance. We just kind of don't want to do it anymore." We were like, "All right, whatever," and that was it. I had assumed that that message would get across to Cho. There wasn't any intent to fuck over Cho at all. We could have put people down with them if they had wanted to secure it if they found out about it. But
so Cho is largely outside of any of these podcasts or being public in any way, shape, or form anymore. How did they feel about it? Do you have any idea? Can you speak?
They're pissed. They weren't happy about it. Like Cho is a guild that they don't flinch, really. So it's like they showed up and they were like, "Well, what the fuck is this?" That was basically the reaction I got out of it. Was like it wasn't like they were like fucking punching a hole in the wall angry about it, but it was like, "Well, what the fuck, man? I thought that this was what was going on." And that was where the confusion was, where it was like, okay, well, I figured that you guys got that information the same way I did.
Yeah, they hold a grudge. I can tell you that.
Oh, can you tell?
Well, yeah, they hold a grudge. I promise you that. They may not punch holes in the wall, but they hold a grudge. If any Black Rose are watching. So talk to me about the decision to go to Black Rose on Valencia the next week then, which turned out to be the last week of Siege, basically.
Oh, well, we wanted to fight him, man. It was like, we didn't want to bring allies because it was like we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and we'll go 1v1 and see what happens. We don't want to be those guys, so like we aren't trying to make excuses for it. We lost the 1v1 to them. They defended the castle. And then the week leading up to the first week of Siege, Sav was on the podcast and he said, it's pretty obvious where we're going, all that. And it's like, we don't really care that much. It's like, we don't hold any ill will towards any of those guys. It's like, we'd like to fight BR. And I know that there's a lot of, public opinion that would say that they probably think that BR is stronger than Vertex right now.
No, nobody thinks that.
You don't think so?
No, nobody.
Like I know that there are a lot of people, dude. If you go on like forums and
nobody
shit,
thinks so. That's all garbage, man. You look at the forums. You really look at the forums. I look at the forums when Orca puts up a Siege rating, so I can tell him that Aftershock should be higher than where they put him, and he fucking hates it. Like that's all I ever look at.
I get linked shit. I don't actually surf the forums.
Yeah, exactly. But, you look at this. I need to put a comment. And you never fucking look back.
But
so
I mean, we'd like to fight BR. We'd like to fight Cho. We'd like to fight anybody, but we don't really. I mean, right now the big thing is sea monster hunting, and it's like people in the guild. We're all playing the game same as we normally do. So,
Let's talk about BR versus Vertex for a second. So I think we all saw with what Black Rose was able to do, both against you and Cho. Cho, we can go, okay, the placement was obviously not correct, and the miscommunication. But, there was a real chance for you guys to push in against Black Rose, but they played that castle advantage really well. So now we're in this different scenario. It's so hard, dude. What?
The castle's so hard, dude. It's so difficult to push.
But now you can respawn at the gate, which is something we haven't seen because basically, Calpheon was stalemated in one of the best fights ever. And then Medaya's been Snake, and then it's been you guys at Vertex. So we haven't had, NA has not had a fight with this gate respawn thing. And hopefully this week will be obviously this week, at least in Calpheon, will be the first week of it. So first, how do you think that affects the difference? Second, how many guilds do you think would make it Black Rose plus whatever guild, not Cho Nation, would make it a fair fight? Do you think Vertex on Castle versus Black Rose 1v1 would be fair, even though that can't happen this week? Do you think that would be a fair fight with the gate changes?
You know what? I'm going to opt to not answer that question.
No, come
I
on.
I don't want to. We're delving into the territory of things that aren't the public's business, because that goes into planning for the guild, right? And if I were to say what I think, this guild's power is, or what I think would be a fair fight,
Okay, well, let's go with
that
public knowledge.
that shit can get used against you.
You're kicking lower gear score people and bringing in higher gear score people, and Sasha is doing the same thing. So
Okay.
we're looking at these two powerhouses. Black Rose does not have the gear Vertex does. That's common knowledge. That's something close to a fact, right?
Yeah.
Does the changes of being able to respawn at a gate concern Vertex and maybe kind of reignite having some sort of backroom politics, Discord, maybe an ally or two kind of thing? Or are you just solo swinging?
We're largely out of the political scene, man. Like we told people when we first started the alliance, at least the people in the alliance, and we had an agreement with Vincier and Cho that it was like, once the deed is done, it's over, right? Like, we're not doing this shit anymore afterwards. Like, the whole point of doing what we did with the alliance was to bring things back in line and bring this fucking game back down into reality. Like, the point of it is now we want things to be healthy. We don't want guilds to be fearful of dying and getting bullied for showing up to fight.
Okay, but let's take a look at this. So your first duty is to look after your own guild. So if you're solo swinging on Valencia, you're really actually open to me, who has recently worked with Black Rose, Ascendants, and a couple other guilds showing up at your front door, and you've got this gate thing going on. So if you're solo swinging, the best thing you can possibly do is get on the podcast and go, we got zerked out. Then you have to understand that in order to go back to Valencia, you're going to have to kill 3 guilds, and likely Black Rose sitting in that castle, who's very good at defending that castle.
That's not backroom politics. I'd be upfront with the fact that if people came to fight us, especially if they brought like a big Zerg, we'd probably fight them afterwards, but the point wouldn't be to try to chase that guild down and kill them.
That's fine.
It's just content, man.
3v1ing, which is a realistic that could happen. That could happen next week. Not this week, but it could happen next week, right? You really don't have a backup plan of people to go back to Valencia? Are you really just going to go to Calpheon or something like that? You really think your guild is happy after you've been sitting here, you're the powerhouse, all that kind of stuff? You really think your guild is happy just going to a different territory and fighting? Because, can Vertex take out Snake on Medina? Probably not. Who can?
I mean, we would probably go fight Snake. I can't say that for certain. We probably would. But like I said, man,
I want to fucking knock you off just to see that fight.
But the point is, we aren't looking to have people come and hold the region for us. That shit's unhealthy, dude. People need to be out fighting for their own shit, like enjoying the game. People want to come fight us, that's fine. If we feel so inclined, we'll come back, we'll fight for it, or we'll fight Snake, or we'll go, we'll do what we want, man. But as far as backroom politicking goes and trying to like get allies and have them drop or, try to play puppet master, like, no, man, we're not.
You didn't have your fingers in Serendia this past week?
The point being, okay, so as far as Serendia goes, it's like I may or may not have had some fingers in the spaghetti, but it's not
slippery slope, man.
It's not what you think. It's like,
was it because of titles? We really thought that brought it in, and everybody was so concerned about
that. We got a formal threat, and it was just kind of like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do, like, I'll encourage people to go and try and backdoor your other plan.
Wow.
but we didn't actually have anything to do with like placing people. It was literally, I was just like, hey, is anyone doing this? And people were like, yeah, we are. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, what,
That's how you
man?
get back
You sound like
into
you
it,
don't believe
dude.
me.
You got to be careful.
Nah,
Serendia has nothing
I'm
to
out
do
of
with
that shit
you.
too.
Stay the fuck out of that. Let Serendia be.
But
Let Serendia be.
sounds to me, Tim, like you don't know the circumstances, but it doesn't.
No, I don't.
Go. Yeah,
Dude, look, look. You and I have both taken
I
a
can
much
tell
more
you. I can
soft
tell
pedal
you
to
about
this
it.
thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell you about it. Like not on stream. I don't want to get in
Okay.
trouble about shit, but no, we're not really involved in politics at this point. It's like we don't want to get guilds recruited to come and defend for us. We don't want to try to like we if we're gonna sit in the region uncontested, we're gonna sit in a contested. But the whole point of the alliance was to take the we're gonna bully you out of the game, right?
If
Like you can meme on people, you can fuck with them, but if there are a small enough number of organizations in the game at this point that it's like a fucking endangered species, man.
yeah, I think I respect
Protect
you a
that
little bit
shit.
more. I really didn't realize you'd led a guild before. So you really understand that like going after to kill somebody's guild is like the most toxic thing you could possibly do because that's blood, sweat, and tears, right? I don't want to kill somebody's guild.
Oh yeah. No, I know,
We
man.
got close with Kyokai, but we didn't want to actually kill him. Maybe relegate him to other
You
nodes.
just say dirty things to Wish Fairy and he'll block you, dude. Never
I've
talk
tried.
to you
I've
again.
tried. But that's interesting. I think that's interesting. Your current stance on things.
Yeah, it's dude, like
it's good. It is healthy. I'm glad. I was worried for a while that you had lived long enough to become the villain. And maybe stepping away from the game wasn't such a terrible idea because it was heading that way. And that's why I was so vocal. Is you guys really were heading that way. And why would you break up this alliance when you had just enough strong guilds versus territories? You guys really could have you could have hit Snake for a long time and put them down, and you really could have played that hand and controlled this map.
Well, like I said, man, like the primary what it was that animated people towards going after man. Like have you ever heard of the term blowback?
No, it's completely new to me.
Okay, so
I know,
but real life politics, there's a word called blowback.
I was the blowback.
What it's supposed to, like what it is when something goes on behind the scenes that the public doesn't know about, and something happens as a result of it, and there's a dissonance. They don't understand why, and like this whole thing that happened against Man Up. There's so many fucking people that have no idea what it was that was going on behind the scenes that caused all of it, that are just totally out of the loop, that think they're in the loop. And that's why you get all of the memes about Vertex becoming the bad guys, and you get all the memes about
me on the podcast yelling like I didn't. It hurt you. It did. I know it did. That's why I did it.
Did it?
We were enemies. That's part of my value. I know how to create blowback. You don't have to admit it. I know it's true.
But that's a term that you can apply to a lot of situations on BDO, where it's like most people, like, dude, there are a lot of guild. Look, we're genuinely transparent with our members. Like, I'll give people a rundown of what's going on behind the scenes, as long as it's not something that if it gets leaked, it's going to fuck up future planning.
Yeah.
Like we're very straightforward with the people in our guild, and that's something that is somewhat unique to us, where it's like we're happy to tell our members what's going on behind the scenes, because it's good and it's healthy for them to know about it.
Yeah, like
that way when some shit
after,
comes
right?
up, it doesn't bite you in the ass.
Right. That's something we had to learn. I think stuff has changed, where there's less guilds willing to do shady shit, and so it's all pretty straightforward. So we might have our secrets for this week, but like after this week, like it's public knowledge, right? Like you can talk about what happened on Valencia and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. you know, but when it comes to your strategy for this week and the upcoming weeks, that's not something you want to put on Twitch or maybe be even to your general populace. And so I've loosened up, you know, what I tell people within my own guild.
You're reformed.
I am reformed. That's okay. It's a different game, and I've become a different person within the game. You know, a lot of things have changed, and I've the right place, right time, all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of rose to the occasion. But I want to do some questions from chat. You got some time? Are you okay?
Sure, man.
All right. Anybody got a good question in chat? You got anything you want to plug or talk about while we wait for questions in chat? That was you, winners.
Huh?
Do you have anything you want to plug or talk about while we wait for questions in chat?
Yeah, Vixen's new upcoming Siege Guild. They're currently at war with Dat Boy. It's a heated feud.
Stop. Don't ever
between
talk
the
shit
two.
about that boy on my stream.
No, I mean, I don't really have much to plug. I'll plug Tarkov again, dude. Tarkov's a really good game. You guys should try it out.
Do you want to? We should do that together sometime. I always called you out to play League of Legends together because I thought that was like a toxic. Like I figured one of us would ADC and the other one would support, and that's how we'd play League of Legends and we'd fight.
Dude, I will rage the fuck out. I actually mained ADC for this past season. I will rage the fuck out at you if we lane together.
I will 100% support you. I have a level 12 account.
I haven't really played. I haven't played the game that much.
I haven't either. I think it'd be fun, but I'll buy. What you wanted to play Tarkov, right?
Tarkov, yeah. Escape from Tarkov.
What
I'm actually gonna be. I'm gonna be playing BFA this coming week. Like I'm gonna be leveling and doing Mythic Plus and shit. So I'll be busy for the next like week or two with trying to balance BDO and that. But
well, we did get some free time. We should play a team game together where you and I have to work together because I've been yelling about that.
Dude, you're gonna love Tarkov, man. Okay. Tarkov's the perfect game for it.
I'll buy it. I'll start playing it so I don't look like a fucking idiot, and then we can yell at each other as I disappoint you. All right, let's see. Hey, Cho and Vertex had some great fights. Why made them team up? I mean,
who's asking?
No, we can't answer that.
No, it's fine, dude. We can revisit it. So the whole plan between Cho and Vertex was that Cho was a guild that at the time was in some way, like in some manner, sympathetic with Man Up. Like if we had asked them to hit Valencia, they would have said no. We have other plans. So if we were to go to hit Medea or Valencia, and it turned out that our allies, fell on hard times or whatever, and we couldn't continue the fight there, then we would have had a guild that was already stronger than us at the time, having sat on a region for probably up to a month for free, recruiting, getting money, getting gear, and it would have set us very far back in the siege scene and made it so that we couldn't get back to fighting guilds in eastern regions quicker. It was the longer but more stable route to starting a war in the east.
Why is your voice so similar to Kanjara? I disagree with that.
I don't think it is.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, Jesus. My favorite food?
Yeah.
I like pasta, man. I like pasta.
You don't look like a carb loader.
No, I'm not. Well, I mean...
Get that PT in. When do you think Vertex is going to catch up to Snake?
Catch up to Snake?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're pretty far ahead right now. I don't think that Vertex is going to be in a castle long enough to do it. Yeah. I think that the only way that we ever catch up to Snake is by dragging them down, because that's just the way that things work.
You'll have to put a whole nother thing together to do that.
Yeah. I don't think we're interested in that, though. If we're going to fight Snake, it's going to be on as close to friendly terms as possible as we can.
I think Snake's going to be the new castles. I mean, he kind of put it out there. He came on the podcast. He put the whole thing out. He was entertaining, and it's almost like socially acceptable that like Snake just sits on Medaya now. I think he's done a phenomenal job. You know, he's got all the right people. He's got all these high AP people fighting Medaya castles. Awful. Even with the changes, it's just still awful. And so we're going to have to put another whole coalition together to get Snake off there. And then he's gone back so many times. What's the fucking point? You know, you really think...
Well, it's kind of a... Dude, it's kind of a meme with Media. It's not as good now. It's definitely not as good as Valencia now. With the gate spawns, because first gate for Valencia, that's a long fucking walk to get to the second.
Yeah, that sucks. You're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Second gate on Medea, it's a stone's throw.
And those bridges on Medaya are, you know, tough. Those are places you can hold. You know, what do you really hold before the first gate? I mean, we saw.
Well, if anything, for the gates, it's like you can only put your respawn flag at the beginning of the first, or for the bridges, you can only get your respawn flag at the start of the first bridge.
Bert says, what castles with sea monsters? Yeah, let's talk about the sea monster thing. Let's talk about some of the game mechanics.
Dude, don't even get me started. That shit is so toxic, dude. It's so fucking bad for the game. It's so bad. Not just because of the bloating, but it turns every single guild into like, you need to go and grind, and you transfer your time into the guild bank to be laundered back to you.
Yep.
That in and of itself is so ultimately toxic.
I hate it.
It's surprising to me that they haven't nerfed it or hotfixed it.
I can say for certain that it's 100% on the top of the board for Cacao and PA to adjust. So the guild, you know, the guilds like ours that just got into it, and we all have to do it because we want these fat payouts and stuff like that. I think if it's like this in the next month, I'd be pretty fucking surprised. I don't have any hard dates or information on that, but I'd be pretty surprised on that.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
I think we're going to get a sea monster nerf before we see Dragon.
When a Tech Kuno Dandy is getting pre-order for 2.5 bill, you know that something's wrong.
You still need a Tech Kuno Dandy?
No, I'm just saying, because I would like I'm going for pen attempts, so it's easy if I can just snag up a gear. Like, yeah. Dude, my gear's just soft cap, dude. It's not that bad.
You were like, oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. So you don't have a pen, Gaiath?
Hell no, dude.
It's so easy.
I still got it, dude. I don't want to talk about my gear, dude. It's so depressing. It's one of those things, man. It's like, dude. Okay, so there's this whole meme about me sitting in bushes too.
That's not a meme.
Because
that's not a meme.
It's more of a meme than you think it is. Dude.
No,
like,
we've seen you sit in bushes. You sit in some fucking bushes, man.
They were like the week that we were that Siege started back up. I logged over to my character to plant the tower. No, well, he was in a bush. I logged over and I got up and I walked forward to plant the tower, and I realized there's a white square next to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I stand up and I run over, and they were AFK, and I flared him, and it was some hickey guy. And I was like, huh. So I went over, I planted the tower, and then I was standing there looking at him, and he looked at me, he was like, are you fucking serious, dude? Because it was like 8 a.m. on a Thursday, and he was like, you're already out here scouting for Siege? And it was like, I had just logged in like 3 minutes beforehand, and this guy thought I had been like sitting there. I was like running around. There was one point where I did sit in a bush for like 7 hours.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I think we know
that was for a noble cause.
Yeah.
That was for a noble cause.
No,
we won that Siege too.
You know, I'll give that to Adam and Hickey and all. And back then, they would sit in some bushes. They would. Adam is one of the best base placers to ever play this game. He knew the pegs on almost every single territory. We showed Cho how to organize in place. I think we helped out quite a few people. Like Man Up learned a few things about placing on different territories, stuff like that. We had those pegs figured out, and that was all. I think
we taught them a lot too, dude.
Yeah, it was a little shocking when we worked with a couple of these guilds how poorly organized they were for placements and, you know, knowing where pegs were and stuff like that. I think Q's took a couple notes too, to be honest, but that's okay. Everyone wants to know if you're vaping. Obviously, he's vaping. He's winners.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, it's better than smoking, right?
I don't know.
Not as bad.
I just drink water out of my green cup.
I need to get there, man.
It's not water.
Oh, dude, is it NSFW?
No, but yes. But no. What kind of vape juice does Winners use? Hold on. Is it on my... Do I have a... I'm sponsored. Nope, they're not on here.
You
Humble Juice.
Sponsored by what?
Humble Juice.
Humble?
He uses Humble Juice.
Yikes,
Go to
dude.
Humble Juice. They actually have really good deals on their stuff. I used to vape a little bit, and I was like, oh, those are really inexpensive. You can probably type something in that has to do with World Best Gaming to get some sort of discount. But what vape juice do you use?
Oh god, dude. Package for it.
Would Aftershock ever work with Vertex given the history? Would you ever work with me?
I mean, we just said that we probably aren't gonna do big alliances.
So
Who knows,
working with
man?
me is
Maybe
a
in the
big
future.
alliance?
No, I mean, like maybe in the future, if we get pushed out of a region, it's like,
I don't
hey,
have a problem
Tim,
working with Vertex.
you wanna go tag team this shit, dude? Who knows?
I'm
But-
totally down for that. That's the whole thing I've been trying to like push on the Aftershock thing. Is like, you can hire us for a couple of weeks and we'll work with you, and then once that deal is done, if somebody wants to go knock you out, I'm gonna be there the next week. So as soon as that shit's done, we might be right back there. So it's a small community. If you're gonna get butthurt over somebody building against you, you're playing the wrong fucking game. You're the wrong
that's the
table.
thing, man. Like genuinely, dude. We are very comfortable with PvP in this game. Like we can take a loss, dude. It doesn't bother us. And
We
I
wouldn't
feel
be
like
here.
we've made
Neither of us would be here if
very-
we couldn't, you know?
Yeah. Honestly. Like we've made such good relationships with like almost every guild on the server at this point, or with quite a few guilds on the server, I should say. There's still a lot of anti-Vertex hate out there, but we've made good enough relationships where it's like, dude, if we get hit by people, I mean, you know, our leadership is friendly with their leadership, so it's not.
Somebody brought up in chat. So he goes, wasn't Tim butthurt over the exact same thing with Haste last week? Yeah, I was. But I'd still work with them if it was advantageous, if it made sense. But they're fucking children trying to sit at the table, at the adults' table, and they're just in over their head. So that's
Why you say that, man?
What?
Why you gotta say that, dude? Haste are good people, man.
Are they?
Yeah, man. They were Sazerac back in the day.
Yeah, they were.
We worked with them for a long
Didn't
time.
work out.
They're really good people, man.
I don't like the way they do business. Not happy about it. So they'd have to make it up to me.
That's actually, you know, Bombo in chat says, unbiased, by the way, haha. I actually do have a bone to pick with you, Tim. Because I remember when this whole fight first started, you know, in Valencia, like the podcast, dude, was literally just a fucking PR cesspool, dude. It was a propaganda machine. And I remember, you know, we always bitched about it even way back in the day that it was just a propaganda machine. Like, when are you, as a person who took it over, going to start giving it the unbiased leadership that it deserves?
You think I'm not doing that now?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, look at Haste. Look at what happened with Haste.
Just because I host it doesn't mean that I can't give my own opinion on things.
Well, you're the host, man. You hold the power in there, dude. You can't tell people
I can't
that they're
talk on the
assholes.
podcast because I'm hosting it.
You can talk on it, but like your opinion doesn't trump the objective truth about what happened.
That's
So
my
it's like,
first.
yeah, I mean,
That's my first person experience. That's what happened to me. That's how I took it. That's how my guild took it. That's how we saw it. I'm not trying to put out bad PR or anything. That's what they chose to do. That's how I took it. And then people can go, he said, he goes, did we have a deal for that? No. Did we have a deal that we were going to do anything like that? No, we didn't. I just thought it was a shitty thing to do. I wasn't trying to say I called them backstabbing. That was probably a little too far. They didn't backstab us. But it was a garbage thing to do.
You gotta remember, man, like you're taking over the mantle of the dude who was biased. owning that podcast, and you got to do better, you know? Even I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. Like,
It's way better than it was.
Ozpin, yeah, Ozpin was a great dude. I actually really like Ozpin, but he
Same.
was definitely biased to some extent, just by nature of his position. in the
If
guild
somebody
he was in.
fucking rubs me the wrong way, if they do something in game to me that fucks me off, I'm still gonna go on the whole TimAllen thing. I have to do it. That's part of the podcast.
No, I know, man. I'm not trying to tell you not to be who you are, but it's like, if you want this game to grow, if you want guilds to be more involved in the Siege scene, like, as the person who's running the podcast, I would urge you to take as much of an unbiased and objective stance on it as you can, even if your character for stream suffers from it.
Okay, so what if I just kind of say, look, this is me as the Aftershock GM, and then I go in, and then we get back to the podcast kind of thing. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to balance it. I really do take this
do you have
criticism
anyone
seriously.
do you have anyone in your guild who could represent Aftershock that would be able to, you know, keep up the energy that you want?
No, that can do what I do.
No.
Are you kidding me? I'm TimAllen. Are you serious?
All
Is,
right,
is that
then
for serious? Do you know who I
set
am?
someone else to host it, man. There's got to be people who, like, you can still be the person who streams it and have a different host.
I
right?
agree. I either have to have somebody else do the Aftershock stuff, or I have to have somebody else host it.
I would suggest finding someone who's like a retiree from Siege, personally, if you do want to go down that path. It's my opinion, you know.
I think I should just have somebody else from Aftershock talk for Aftershock. That's kind of what I've been leaning towards, because I know that hates.
I'm sure there's a balance.
toxic.
There's probably a balance that you could find too that would be non-toxic, where you get to still do your high energy fucking mongoloid chest pounding.
I think that's good.
at the same time.
I think that helps the podcast. You know, I'm not doing that on a Thursday, right? It's the Saturday podcast. There's Shades of Lakari yelling and all that stuff, and Vigor coming in. I think
Yeah,
it should
Blade
be a little
Bugs,
bit.
man.
I think it should be a little larger than life, and I feel like I'm a part of that.
No, it's good. It's fun. It should be fun. It should be fun.
I'm not trying
And
to
there should
bury haste.
Dude, like,
I'm just trying to put it out there. I think you may have taken that
I'm
a little
not-
too seriously.
No, well, it's just a recent example, because you have to remember, like, we as a guild, like I said, I mean, like, Man Up had a permadeck on us when we were a T2 guild, you know, and it's like when we entered the Siege scene, everything, as soon as we made it clear that we were not going to be in any sort of allegiance or sympathetic with them, as soon as that happened, it was constant churning of negative PR for us. And it's like, coming from that, that's why it's something that I take kind of seriously. Like, definitely take a second to think about it. If you were getting invited to come and speak in a public platform where the person who is hosting it doesn't want you to be shown in a good light, would you show up?
Yeah, I get that, and that's something I won't allow. Right? If some big thing happens, like, you're gonna get your turn, I'm gonna get my turn. You know, that person's gonna get their turn, and there is a level of moderation that I think wasn't there previously. You know, the fact that I was able to yell and scream and do the garbage that I was able to do when this thing was going on was completely unacceptable. That was an unmoderated podcast, and I did it because I was allowed to. And I would never let somebody do that on the podcast now that I'm running it, because I would lose everybody. Nobody would come. and that's detrimental to my stream. You know, that's detrimental to my whole thing that I'm doing. My reformed Tim, as you call it.
Yeah, you're reformed, man.
And
You
so
gotta do
people can
better.
yell and scream and get excited and have fun with it, but the other side's got to be able to do the same thing. And I did not allow you to do that. And the fact that that was allowed was the reason the podcast died. And so I would have muted myself pretty fucking quick if I had did what if that happened in this podcast. So I don't think it's been tested enough, right? We've all been kind of chill, and we're rebuilding, and there's not enough guilds, and there's no big alliance and all that kind of stuff. And everybody's been getting their fair shot. Cho Nation's been coming in. That's what I've been really happy about, is all these guilds have been coming in. Cho Nation dodged last week, obviously, because their base placement was garbage. And I kind of reeled on them as I watched it. Dude, that was a brain dead
Yeah, it was pretty
place
bad.
to
It was
speak.
pretty bad.
That's
But
not
they didn't-
toxic. It's just
as
what
far
it
as
is.
I know, as far as I know, they didn't really have anywhere else to do it. they couldn't really find a good position.
No, you
Like,
could
that
move
was
back
the
10
close
pegs.
to good.
No, look, man, I know Balanos. They just placed too far close to that safe zone. Maybe they didn't realize, or whatever the case was, but they can pull back on that road. I've placed there maybe 10 times, literally. Like, that's one of my favorite spots, and they just put the peg up too far. And so I called it out on my stream, and there was nobody there to defend it. So I'm just, I'm out there calling it out, and that's it. So maybe that's a little call to action, like, get out there, come to the podcast. Everybody can have their own say. I'm not going to, if somebody starts shutting you out and yelling over you, they're going to get muted. And we've got a couple different people that are moderating it to help me, because I can't just do it myself, because I'm involved with it too. So we have some moderators outside of it, but I just kind of have that natural personality to host it. So I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, man. Like, there should be drama. This game is fueled by drama. The community loves fucking drama on this game. It's like when we were doing this whole thing with the Alliance, dude. Like, those were a couple of months long, and it was some of the driest content that we've ever had for Siege. We very rarely got big fights, but people fucking loved the message. They were all for the movement. They didn't mind it if we didn't get a fight on a given weekend, because they knew what it stood for, right? Like, there are externalities to what goes on in this game that you don't find most places, because it is a sandbox,
So just give it some time. It's barely been a month since I've officially taken it over and all that stuff. So it still needs to flesh itself out.
You're reformed.
I'm sure I'm going to fuck something up. I'm human. I'm going to fuck something up, but we've got mods in there. We're trying to tighten it up so people can't just come in and scream and all that stuff. And it's gotten better. I think this is the best iteration of the podcast, if I could be so bold, if I can ! Ego. So I want to keep it going. I want to keep it constructive, but also fun, so there's content, yelling and stuff like that. But everybody's got to get their fair share. It doesn't matter whose side I'm on or somebody else is on. Everybody's got to get their say in it. So that's what I'm focused on with that.
I mean, it should have shit talk, and there should be, drama and all that, but it shouldn't be a fucking petting zoo, dude.
I just outclassed Haste and shit talk. That's all it was. I buried him.
So how are we gonna get more guilds involved in Siege, Tim?
That's a good question.
You guys gonna stick around on Balanos? Are we gonna encourage everyone to move off Balanos so the little guys can fight for it?
I don't know. I think we need to see how the next couple weeks come out, because the title thing kind of fucked everything up.
Yeah, the title thing was really janky.
So I think we need to see what happens with gate respawns. We need to see what happens with Dead Serious and all their crazy mercs moving off. We need to see what Notorious does. Stuff needs to settle down over the next 2 weeks and see where, the dust settles. And then I think it'll be obvious where there's going to be some spots for some of these kind of fledgling tier 2 guilds to come up. And because that is important. That's something I've always been a part of, that you brought up, is I want these guilds to come into Balanos, Serendia, whatever the case is, and to work with people and to knock down whoever's there, work with them and get a rotation, get some experience, whatever it is to balance it out and make it a good fight. But at this point, there really is no option for these smaller guilds to get in, because everything's so clogged up because everybody wanted that fucking stupid title.
Yeah. There's some weird shit that went down last weekend, man.
I stayed out. My guild we're not getting titles. If you want it, drop guild, go someplace else. Nobody drop guild, which I'm just not.
Yeah, we had a bunch. Dude, we had like 5 people apply to the guild and just be like, "Wait, I just want a title. I'll leave after." And it's like, you think we fucking want that, dude? What the fuck? It's weird.
So many titles in this game that I don't have. I don't care. So much of my guild didn't do the fucking blue title thing for the summer mystery event, and then for them to come at me and go, "We care about this title," fuck off. Nobody brought it up. Nobody sent me a message and was like, "I care about this." I was like, guess what? We're not doing it. Don't think about it. We're not going to be on territory the next 2 weeks. It's a long play. I'm here for the long game. I'm not here to put all my chips on the table and beg people for territories, or to try to set up some kind of 2v2 or 1v1 or 3v3 that's going to be advantageous for me so I can grab this. It's like, motherfucker, the best fight I have ever been involved on was Calpheon last week. Not last week, the week before. That shit was insane. Nobody was thinking about titles. We didn't give a fuck who won. That shit was just nuts.
I feel like Calpheon is actually like a hotbed for good fights, man. We've had so many good fights in Calpheon. I actually really, besides the server being shit, I actually really like that region.
Without the server being, I mean, there was no server problems whatsoever with the fight we had. Like if Calpheon servers are stable, that shit is lit. That shit is definitely lit. We'll see what happens with, you know, somebody owning the castle though. We fought there 2 weeks with no castle owner. 4 hours.
Yeah, castle's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah, it really is.
That'll be a good fight to watch. It'll be a good fight whenever either of the castles get pushed right now, because Vertex, I would say that we're a pretty steady second right now, and it's like I don't think that the gap is so large that it would be a like ridiculous cumbersome feat to come and, you know, fight us.
Yeah,
so like I'm safe. Excited for it.
Yeah, you're not safe, but Snake is until you're not, right?
Yeah, so I think it'll be a good fight whenever anyone shows up to Valencia or Calf. I think that will be a very exciting fight.
All right, man. I think we're good.
Are we? Dude, are you trying to get rid of me?
No, I think we hit it all. Sea monsters, current state, the whole arc, Orwin, different leaders of Vertex, all the shit between us. We got all the shit between us, right? We even talked about the Saturday podcast.
Yeah, we did.
I think we hit it, man. I think we did a good podcast.
Did we? Can you pull up some of those memes that I put in your Discord?
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm trying to get partnered, man.
Share them with the world, man.
Exclamation point Discord. Join my Discord. Look at the fucked up shit Winners put in there. And then you can leave or stay or whatever. I never ping. Dude. I don't ping people when I go live or anything like that, so you can hang out there. If you put memes in my Discord that are safe for work or it can be on Twitch, then I put them in my reel. But the shit Winners put in there was not. It's not going in my reel.
Come on, dude. What are you, a homophobe?
Dude, the pony thing, the like pony fetish party you put in.
Dude, that's probably the most safe for work thing that's in there.
My wife was so happy about that. She goes, "Yeah, I've seen this stuff before." She is like so free spirited, kind of just like, "Don't kink shame." I'm like, "This shit's fucking weird, dude." No, it's not. It's like, okay, all right. I'm you, you're me, and we're both a tree.
Dude, do the euthanized one. That's one of my favorite memes, actually. I really like that one.
That's borderline. I'm almost okay with that because I've got
a pretty funny one.
Yeah, I like that one too. That was probably my favorite because I've got the one on my stream that's like laugh. I would laugh at memes, but it's scientifically proven that laughing extends your lifespan. So it's I forgot that black guy's name, but he's like laughing and then he's like, "Oh shit, no, I'm not laughing." He's the guy that did Family Feud. And like always gets upset when somebody says penis. Whoever that
dude,
is.
I don't think any of this is actually NSFW. I think that all of this you could actually.
No. You
could put all of this on stream.
You can't talk. No, I can't even talk about what those memes talk about on stream without getting in trouble. Steve Harvey, thank you, Steve Harvey. Yeah, the Steve Harvey where he's like laughing and he's like, "Oh shit, that's gonna extend my life." Like that's as close as I get to that topic. Content, homie. So let me know when you have some time. We'll do like an hour of Escape from Tuvok.
Tarkov, dude. No, dude, if you want to play Tarkov, man, I'm down to like actually play it with you.
Steam, right?
So, no, I'll link it to you.
Okay. Yeah, teach me how to play. We'll do it off stream and then we'll do it on stream.
It's a hard game, dude. It's a big learning curve.
Well, I'm pretty hard, so.
Yo, is it from all those memes, dude?
Yes! Yes!
Hell yeah.
Pony boys. One was in like an electric scooter or something.
Hell yeah, dude.
It was so funny because when I have somebody be a guest on my Discord, I give them admin privileges. But we have an admin channel where we talk about like people that are trying to dox me or being shitty or whatever. And so he just goes right in that channel and he just starts posting. And so, like, there's a list of words that are banned. And he's like, so is this a list of words I'm supposed to say on stream? I'm like, God damn. Is this literally just talking about.
Is this the list of acceptable slurs for the podcast?
Oh my god. Might just leave you as an admin on here. Give you fucking mod.
Hell yeah, dude. Can I be the guest of honor forever?
Yeah, as long as you smoke that humble juice.
Humble juice? Send me some, man.
Humble, yeah.
I got you 2 subs tonight, dude.
That's it. That's all it costs. Get lots of humble juice. Hashtag sellout. I don't even have like a link on my stream for this. I'm not sponsored by them, but like World Best Gaming is, and so I'm just selling out without like any like nothing. This is not gonna come.
Dude,
back
you're asking for that 1-up, man. World's Best Gaming is doing it pretty well for you, dude. But
I guess so.
That humble juice, that's where the money's at.
All right. Thank you for your time,
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
I'll head out.
Yeah,
Good talk, man. See you.
That was pretty fucking fun. That was a good time. I hope it came out how much I liked Winners in that, because him and I have had a bunch of drama, but I actually like the guy. So I'm going to upload this to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube.